Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Best Ball Week on DraftKings is wrapping up here on Sunday, but don't worry. They saved the best for last with their newest promo for today. Draft out a closeout Best Ball Week by entering the 20 million headliner twice today, and we'll hook you up with a bonus $20 million headliner ticket here. So you get three pretty much here. One bonus ticket. Draft 2 in the $25 main contest for $3 million to first place, by the way, a $20 million prize pool, and they'll hook you up with another bonus ticket there. Pretty awesome promo by DraftKings. Can't wait. We are going to rip hopefully a couple drafts here. We'll see what we can get in before the World Cup starts here. I do want to try and get in a 555 as well. I've already entered into that. It is 3 of 12, so that might take a little bit of time. So let's start out with a $25 here. I'm going to pull it up on my phone real quick to enter. So if anyone wants to get in, I will tell you when I'm clicking the button in just 1 second. Here, we'll get in that $25, and then we'll talk through some best ball stuff, some week 17 stacking, what we're doing here, differences. If you guys got any questions about differences between contests, there were some people on Twitter asking about that based off of the 555 I did with Zane on Friday, which if you haven't checked out that show, Zane Denani was on with me. Great follow on Twitter, works at Fantasy Points as one of their analysts. And we had some great discussion, great takes on there. We drafted a 555, and yeah, it was a great show. So if you haven't checked out that show after this, you can go back and watch it on this channel. And hopefully we rip another one here. But all right, I have this pulled up on my phone. I'm going to enter it in 3 seconds. If anyone wants to enter with me, $25 to enter, and I'm clicking in now. 3 of 12 too. So plenty of time to hop in. This will be a friends and family draft here over on DraftKings. I will pull it up on this other tab here. And then whenever this 555 fills, we will switch over and get to the 555. Let's see. Just want to make sure. 20. We got to get our ticket for the old 25, and bang, this thing filled quick here. So awesome stuff. If you guys are in this chat and you're in the draft with us, which I'm going to pull up here real quick, let me know. Let me know which spot you're picking from. So, if you have any questions or anything, we can talk through it. I can check out your teams through the draft, see how things are going. Bang, we got it up on the screen, ready to rock and roll. Love it. Love it. Boofy guy here. Love my guy, Boofy guy. Did you enjoy the UFC card last night? Tommy was insane. I did. It was actually a pretty good, honestly, the last fight was okay. It was fine. Like DDP did his thing. Kamara's got a chin. Because DDP hit him with some massive shots that I think a lot of other guys would have went cold. I don't know how he ate a couple of those knees. And then the head kicks on top of it. It was pretty insane, to be honest with you. So, yeah, the card was overall, I think, solid. My two best bets hit, or my two biggest bets of the night hit, which were Dione Barbosa by sub. That was easy. I told you guys that was going to be easy. And then Jose Delgado money line, which were my two biggest bets on the card, which were nice. And, yeah, Tommy, absolutely insane. Like, I'm never doubting that guy ever again. Like, and he will lose. Don't get me wrong. He will lose eventually just because of his style. But my God, is he fun? Is he tough as hell? I mean, he got dropped a few times and just like kept moving. Absolutely insane from Tommy McMillan. I'm glad I had some parlays with him via KO, and I was glad he got the finish. But total just I mean, he just walked that dude down, was giving him the middle finger, was smiling at him, blood everywhere on his face. Just an absolute man. But all right, we're live here. I'm picking out of the 8-hole. We've got Brandon Cox. I'm in JSU picking 11th here. All right, good to have my guy Brandon Cox here. Let's see. Faziva Magia. I might have messed that up. I apologize if I did. Picking out of the 6-hole here. All right, good to have you in, my friend Jay. I'm at the 12. Okay, yeah, we got a few guys in chat. Like I said, if you're missing here, let me know if you're in this draft. Starts out Gibbs, Bijan, which is the pretty standard start here. Love the card. Fatima Klein, hell of a show. Transition to Fatima Klein she will be champion. We just don't know it yet, but she will be champion. Like, that girl, the improvements that girl has made since that Jasmine fight is absolutely insane. Leaps and bounds. She was the better fighter everywhere. Like, everywhere that fight went, she was the better fighter. And it wasn't even close. She was awesome. Loved watching her fight. I'm a big Fatima Klein fan. I said it before that fight. She will be champion here. All right. I am up on the clock here. I have a lot of CeeDee Lamb here. JT is the top of the ADP here. I'm going to go with JT here, actually. I'm going to go with some JT, change it up here a little bit. I like getting some Jonathan Taylor here to, like I said, change it up. I'm not as into Justin Jefferson as the field. I am, who else am I lower on? I'm lower on CMC just because I'm higher on Amon-Ra. JSN is fine, but I only take him sometimes when I'm at the 5 spot. Yeah, it's just, James Cook I don't have a ton on, but Zane, my guy Zane, was making the very bullish case for James Cook with the upside in the passing game. So, maybe he was saying, like, maybe Ty Johnson could be gone. James Cook, they were talking about getting him more involved in the passing game. If that's the case, I mean, that's his biggest problem from a fantasy standpoint is the pass catching upside on DraftKings. I mean, the touchdown upside is there by ADP. AJ Brown, I can't believe AJ Brown is going where he's going now. It's so funny. I do like Derrick Henry here. I'm big into Brock Bowers. I like Drake London. Let's go Drake, just because JT's got the same bye week. I might have went Derrick Henry if they had different bye weeks, but absolutely, Lee, we're gonna rip another one. I am also in a 555 though, Lee, so it just depends on when this 555 fills. But yeah, we'll be ripping another 25. Right now, the 555 is only 3 of 12, so it could take a little bit for it to fill. So yes, we'll be ripping hopefully a couple here. Like I said, I kind of want to get at least 3 drafts in today if I can. We'll see based off the World Cup. I haven't really watched a ton of World Cup, but I do have Spain to win. Shout out to my guy Rubio Dimes, who I asked pre-tournament. I said, Rubio, I got 500 bones. Who am I putting it on? And Rubio told me Spain. So if that guy, if Spain wins, Rubio's my GOAT for soccer. And if Spain loses, Rubio's still my GOAT for soccer. But I might yell at him a little bit, but that's okay. Love Rubio Dimes. But got some money on Spain. So I'll be sitting down and watching my first full soccer game and rooting on Spain to win for my money. So yeah. But yes, we will be ripping another couple contests here. Brandon Cox going into year 3 with RPS should be good enough for a 555 ticket. yeah. 3 years? Only 3 years, Brandon Cox? Come on, man. We got people who have been around for like 5 years, 6 years. I mean, like, it's crazy. I can't believe how long it's been, to be honest. 3 years was insane, let alone, I mean, what are we pushing, 5, 6 years now? I've lost track. I can't even remember. Great run, though. Great run. An insane run. I could write a book. Not that that would be my thing. You know, I'm not the best writer, but man, the story would be gold. It'd be a great seller, I tell you right now. Maybe one day I will. I don't know. I'll have to ask my boss, T. Boss T. I got to ask Boss T. You know, I can't do anything without his approval. Let's see here. Jeremiah Love still on the board at 32, which is interesting. I'm not a Jeremiah Love guy here. I am into Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, not as much into Kyron. I like Brees where he's going. I'm going to take Brees Hall, though. Even though he's got the same bye week. And I know I just said I didn't take Derrick Henry because he had the same bye week, but shit, whatever. Whatever. So we got a JT, Drake London, Brees Hall start. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I'm a big Drake London guy. I think the volume's going to be insane for him. Remember, he didn't play, like, he was banged up when he played. He missed some time. I think he only played 12 games, but 112 targets in 12 games. That's pretty good. You know, target share was, oh shit, we're back on the clock, like 30%. He had a 40% air yard share. Yeah, Travis Etienne goes there. So by ADP, Josh Jacobs on the board. You know who I'm just going to go with my gut here, and I'm getting more and more bullish on Tetaroa McMillan in the 4th round. I'm becoming a Tetaroa McMillan bull. 4th round. I feel like the 4th round, this is where we can take some shots. I'm not into Bryce Young, but I think in the 4th round, I think Tet is a pretty good buy. I think he's just a really, really good receiver that on almost any other team with an upgraded quarterback would be going 2 rounds earlier. And he's going in the 4th round. So what made you go London over A.J. Brown? A couple things here, D. Jones. One, early in the season, I was getting A.J. Brown in the 3rd round. And then once that whole, trade happened with the Patriots that we knew was going to happen, all of a sudden he became a 2nd round pick. And I don't know, it's weird to me. I think he's worth a 2nd round pick, but I think on DraftKings, Drake London's floor and ceiling combo with what I think will be just a volume monster in a condensed offense with, I mean, let's be honest, they got Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. What else do they have? They lost Tyler Algier. They drafted Zachariah Branch, but I think he's going to be more of a gadget guy. I think he's going to be very hit or miss. The volume I don't think will be here. I think it's going to be very concentrated around Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson. So I think it's a team that we should be really pushing. Whereas I think the Patriots, they're going to use A.J. Brown 100%. I'm not saying not, but Drake May will still get other guys involved. I think just getting A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs is going to open up other things as well. Another thing my guy Zane posted was how the Patriots offense, defenses were playing a lot of single high safety against them because they weren't as afraid about the receivers. Obviously, you got Kayshon Boutte, Kyle Williams, Demario Douglas, Steph Diggs, who Steph Diggs is good. He's just, he's not as scary of like a, just like beat you deep type of guy anymore. That's not really him anymore. But like, there was no one that really scared you that much. So now with A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs, and I'm back up on the clock here, I think teams are going to have to play them a little more honest. I think they're going to have to be a lot more careful about that. And man, I mean, Mike Evans at 56. Is that just not a smash pick? I mean, you could tell me if like Mike Evans at 56 he could lead the NFL in touchdowns. I mean, AJ Brown could too, honestly, but I'm very bullish on the Patriots. I'm very bullish on Drake May. I think he's going to be a great fantasy option, but the schedule is not going to be as easy. And I think the guys I want to lean into are Hunter Henry, who I think is with AJ Brown. It's going to open up that middle of the field even more for Hunter Henry, and Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson. I think the run game gets the biggest boost from having AJ Brown and Romeo Doubs on this team. That's my overall take and stance. I want Travion. I'm fine with some Ramondre, but I really want Travion Henderson. The more I look at it, I just the last like week or two thinking about it, I've kind of stumbled on this conclusion here that I should have been on earlier, but man, Travion Henderson could be an absolute beast. If they trust this dude in pass protection, oh man, he's going to smash for fantasy. He might smash anyways. Drake May is back on the clock here. This is where you're like, see, you should have drafted AJ. See, you should have drafted AJ Brown. But you know what? Brian Thomas is still here. I got to go Drake May. I don't care. I think he's still the best pick on the board. I think I'm going to lean into the best pick on the board. It's him or Caleb, but I think Caleb, I'd want more of a bear stack. But yeah, there's my take on that. Let's see, bro. Big T and Eric Crane and I go back to the RG days. Hey, man, I was there in the RG days. Maybe not that far back in the RG days, but I was there. I remember those days. Love Eric Crane. Great guy, absolute great guy. But yes, that goes back for sure. The RG days. Crane, Big T, 100%. Can Tet throw it to himself? Man, if he could, he'd be like overall wide receiver 5. I think he's literally that good, man. Like I said, the only thing holding him back is the quarterback play, but I get it. I get it. That's why in the beginning of the year, when his ADP was like kind of in the upper 30s, I didn't like it. But he's starting to fall like into the 40s in the 4th round. I think is where he should be going based off of that quarterback play. And I think it's reasonable, man. I think it's very reasonable to sell yourself on. Bryce Young also played a lot better when Coker came back. So that does help. Ramondre Stevenson goes. That's a bummer. Damn it. Who do we want to go with here? I'm not really into Chuba Hubbard. Quentin Johnson's still here on the board. All right, let's take QJ. I don't have a lot of QJ. People are very bullish on QJ. I mean, I've seen him in drafts going like the 60s. And I think the hype's only going to get bigger the more they talk him up, unfortunately. So don't draft him a lot. I probably got like 3%. But I'm high on the Chargers, so I want more owner. I want more Chargers. I want as much Chargers as I can get. I think Justin Herbert is a smash this year. I think Mike McDaniel and the offense, a couple of these guys are going to smash. Whoever you think it is, whether you think it's Ladd bounce back, QJ, I could see the offense kind of condensed around those two guys, kind of like how it was with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill in a way. And then you got like Achane, you got Hampton, or my guy Keaton Missile. The missile. Crane still play DFS or do I don't know about DFS, but content I don't think does anymore. Makai Lemon goes there, back up on the clock at pick 89. Michael Wilson by ADP is at the top. You got Michael Pittman. You know, I think I want a running back. Let's take Kenny Gainwell. I am not into Bucky Irving. I think Kenny Gainwell fits the scoring system. I also have 2 of my top running backs as the same bye week. Give me some Kenny Gainwell here. So to start off, we got JT, Drake London, Breece Hall, Tedero McMillan, Mike Evans, Drake May, Quentin Johnston, Kenny Gainwell. A 1-3-4-0 build. All right. We can rock and roll with that. Ted Bennett, number 2, his whole career at Ohio State. Yes, but this is different. Like the Panthers now, unless you're telling me, well, first of all, if you're telling me that he's not really a number 1 receiver, then you should be all over Jalen Coker. Because Jalen Coker is a buy in that situation. But what I think is happening here is I think they're going to expand the route tree even more. They're gonna get Tet more on the move. The drafting of Chris Brazil just tells me he's an outside guy. They're going to probably stick him outside. He's going to be doing a lot of the clear out stuff. And I think it's going to open up for them to move Tet around a little bit more and use him in different ways. So that's another thing that makes me like Tet a little bit more overall. But I get all the concerns. I think Tet, he has the makings of an overall wide receiver 1. I get being a little skeptical. I mean, last year I was completely out on Tedero McMillan, like completely out. I had nothing to I had no share. I thought he was one of the worst picks on the board last year. Let's see, where did Tet? So what was his overall? So Tet was 12th in overall targets. He had a 25% target share. What was his air yard share? 43% air yard share. I'm almost up here, but that's 5th overall in the NFL. Not bad. Not bad for a rook. Just saying. I think some of those numbers could go up. Like, I think the targets are going to go up. I think the volume overall is going to go up. Let's see. We're up in 1. George Kittle goes. Matthew Stafford's still here. I have no Rams. Well, I have no Rams until pick 104 when I take my boy Blake Corum, who I think is a smash. I think his contingency upside is by far one of the best of anybody. And I think his role overall at pick 104, 105 in the best offense, or one of the top 3-5 offenses in football, if you want to say it that way, is already pretty good, when I think he almost splits the role down the middle with the carries with Kyron. The more Kyron plays, the more they probably want to keep him fresh. They obviously trust Kyron. But I think Corum showed last year, I mean, there were some pretty big spots where they went to Corum in certain situations down the stretch. So, yeah, I think Blake Corum, I've already talked about this so many times, but I think Matthew Stafford's touchdowns inside the 10-yard line, the regression is just, it's got to be there. And if that's the case, I think Corum and Kyron are there to benefit. Up on the clock right now. Oh, God, I'm not a Rachaad White guy. I'm going to take Dobbs here. I'm just going to get my my Dobbs Drake May pairing. I kind of missed out on some of my good quarterback stacks, so I have the gross quarterback stacks late that I can lean to. I want to make sure I got Romeo, who I think is a pretty good option where he's going. Travion Deff in the home run swing, I guess, comes down to how hard to lean into it. Yeah, it's one of those things, Travion, where, man, if you're right, you're going to win a lot of money with him. I think it's worth the risk. And if you're wrong, you still have the opportunity to fall in to a smash situation, kind of like how it was when Ramondre went down and Travion got those looks and was really good, you know. But that's the key right there. Can he get the pass pro stuff? I don't know. That's the real question. I hope he can, though. Man, quarterbacks are going in this draft. Malik Willis. I mean, I've seen Malik Willis fall a ton. I have him kind of ranked more where he went, or closer to that. But 116 is definitely or 117 is definitely interesting. Oh, I don't know. Who are you talking about? Tate for, Tennessee. I don't mind Tate for Tennessee. I like Wan'Dale Robinson a little bit more because he goes like later, and I think he fits better with the DraftKings scoring. We are 5 of 12 on the 555, so still looking for 7 more. If you want to jump in a 555, come on down. All right. We have, you know what? I talked about him. Let's lean into this Carolina thing here. Let's get Jalen Coker. I was back and forth on Coker or Dallas Goedert. I didn't think either one of them was going to be there. Dallas Goedert would have went nice with my Mike Evans. But I'm going to lean the Carolina side here, just with the team that I'm building. Yeah, Bryce Young incoming. I'm going to need Drake May to be a MVP candidate again for this team to hit. But you never know. You never know. Two ways I could go here. JCM's still on the board. I'm just not a JCM guy. My guy, the Missile's still here. I do have QJ. I could get totally... yeah, screw it. Let's do it. Let's push it. Let's push it here. There is no way anyone on this draft board wants Bryce Young, right? Let me just look here. Where's the Chupa draft? Okay, so the Chupa drafter's over here. Jonathan Brooks drafter has 3 quarterbacks. I feel like he should make it back to me, but we'll see. We still have a couple guys with 1 quarterback. So we'll see if this push works. Oh, if Ramondre wasn't there and they played this dude like all 3 downs, no issues with the 3 down, he would be, yeah, I think he'd be right. I think he'd be right around the Saquon Barkley, Kenneth Walker, Omari and Hampton, like that range. So yeah, right next to Genty, I guess, like right after Genty. I think you're right. D Jones, what's your optimal build? I've been liking the 3-6-8-3 builds, but in higher dollar stuff, I feel the need to just have 2 elite quarterback tight end builds. My favorite personal build is actually leaning less running backs than what you're talking about here. I like 4 or 5 running backs personally. I do like the 3 quarterback stuff, unless I get 2 elite tight ends. 2 elite quarterbacks. But you know, that can change. And honestly, 3 to 4 tight ends. So like, yeah, I think my favorite construction is a 3-5-9-3 build. That is my optimal build construction. I get 3 quarterbacks. I get 3 tight ends at least. I get the security there. I get an extra receiver. And then in those builds, I probably lean into the running back early, kind of like I did, first 9 rounds, four running backs in 4 of my running backs being in the top 9 picks. I feel like I kind of did that here, but all right, my guy, there's no way you need Bryce Young. You have Justin Herbert. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh. I mean, that's beyond a snipe right here. Oh, that's gross. Well, you know what? Intentional. You know what? I'm sorry to the Seahawks drafter, but I had to do it. I had to take Sam frickin' Darnold. And I know him and Drake may have the same bye week, so this is going to be interesting. Shaheed is gone, I think. But that's okay. There's late stacking potential with them. So I feel comfortable still. That is gross, man. I can't believe that just happened. Oh, you know what's worse is I'm tilted about getting sniped on Bryce Young. Does that make it double? Does that make it like 10 times worse? That I'm tilted not getting a quarterback that I despise? I think it does. I can't believe that just happened. Oh. That is sickening right there. Well, you know what? I just got to get a quarterback, so now I just got to reach for Geno. I need 3 quarterbacks anyways. I got Breece Hall. Oh, man. That's gross. And it stinks, too, because Drake London also has the Week 11 bye. So I couldn't even just do like the Tua or Michael Penix late. Oh, no, I had to take a Super Bowl winning quarterback instead. You're right. You know what? You're right. I had to take the guy that I absolutely despise with my next pick. God, Big T somewhere laughing. I actually do have a Sam Darnold jersey in my house. I think it's actually down here. Because I have to go to Wendy's, which I will be doing, in my Sam Darnold jersey in Massachusetts. I will be going to a Wendy's and eating 2 shitty meals from Wendy's with my Sam Darnold jersey in a Wendy's. And I can't tell you the last time that I've went to a Wendy's and sat down and ate. Or for that matter, fast food. And I'm not looking forward to it. B Young does scramble some, so there's that. Yeah, problem is I don't have them. That's the problem. My guy Brandon says, this draft's over, y'all, playing for second. Brandon, that's okay because second place still gets you to advance. That's the good thing. Best ball, first and second place advance in their pods. So second still gets me across the finish line. So I don't care if I'm first or second in this pod. Oh my God, and AD Mitchell just goes, I'm just in shambles right now. Wow. This draft is just... Well, here comes the tight end run, people. We'll take Greg Dulcich. You did need a quarterback. I just did not think you were going to take Bryce Young, but you did need a quarterback. It's just gross because I had the full stack, and I was like, there's no way anyone's going to take Bryce Young naked. But it's what it is. Didn't believe in the Seahawks again this year, huh? You know what's funny is, and you guys, most people have watched the shows and stuff, know that Big T owned me because I was on the Rams and he was on the Seahawks. And pretty much for like the back half of the year, we argued about the Rams and Seahawks on like every single show. Unfortunately, he ends up being right. And I end up having to eat Wendy's at some point before the start of the season this year. But, you know, Sam Darnold was one of my obvious issues. I actually think like this year from a fantasy perspective, Sam Darnold might actually be a little better because I don't know, was Zach Charbonnet banged up? I don't know, and losing Clint Kubiak. And Terrence Ferguson just goes. I mean, this draft is just, it is killing me, this draft. Jonah Coleman is still here at 185. I mean, I feel like I have to take the fall on Jonah Coleman. Yeah, I think I got to. Jonah Coleman, come on down. I feel like they might have to lean on Sam Darnold's arm more this year. It's as crazy as that is to say. Bro, I hate Denver Broncos running backs. You don't have to tell me. I've got very little Jonah Coleman. I just see that ADP, as Davis Maddock would say, shout out to him, Dipperino, and didn't pass it up here. Also, too, I don't need him to do much, to be honest with you. I like my running backs. I think my running backs are pretty solid. JT, Breece Hall, those are two good horses. I got Kenny Gainwell, Blake Corum, Keaton Mitchell to kind of give me a couple weeks here and there. Jonah doesn't, he's the sixth running back on this team. He doesn't really have to give me that much. And he could back into production the way RJ did. Because let's be honest, like if JK stayed healthy, RJ was like close to a zero a lot of the, not a literal zero, but he was not going to be fantasy relevant last year if J.K. Dobbins stayed healthy. That's a fact. It's just J.K. Dobbins can't stay healthy. But what if that happens again and Jonah ends up being, you know, like what RJ was last year? I don't know. I don't trust Sean Payton at all, so I get the zero thing. I'm kind of with you in general. Yeah, he is sneaky with the legs sometimes, but also like his passing options are pretty good. Like AJ Barner's a good tight end. I like Elijah Arroyo as a late tight end flyer. He might actually fit my team, to be honest with you, because my tight ends are disgusting. So what do we got here? I have one tight end. I got 4 picks left. Some would say that Cooper Kupp is the pick. Some would say. But what do we say to those people? Not today. Not fucking today. Sorry, Cooper. Just bring up Joe Mixon when you're arguing with Big T. That still is one of the craziest games I can remember. By the way, Colby Parkinson goes nice with the Week 17 Kenny Gainwell. A little mini correlation there. I wanted Terrence Ferguson, but the hype train is left with my boy T-Ferg, unfortunately. Yeah, that game is crazy. Oh, look, Cooper Kupp is still here. How many Week 11 wide receivers do I have? I've got Drake London, and I've got Romeo Dobbs. 209. Damn, did Darnell Washington go? Damn it, I wanted Darnell Washington. You know what? I'm going to take Kayshon Boutte. So now I got a 3-6-7-2 build. I'm definitely going 2 tight ends for my last picks. Very ick. Ayuk. What about Ayuk? We're not drafting Ayuk. Ayuk just went after he publicly called coach out yesterday. Bold move. Ayuk went in this draft. There's still people drafting Brandon. There's still people that believe in Brandon Ayuk. The guy hasn't played football in how long? We're still believing in Brandon Ayuk. When does this stop? In the 17th round. Wow. Who's your end of the draft go-tos? Just think you could get Puka at the end of the draft is rookie. I know it's crazy, man. It's crazy. That though, like, man, the Puka, the Kyron stuff, like at the end of the, like, man, that doesn't come around very often. But if you think about it, Harold Fannin last year, we were drafting Harold Fannin or Oronde Gadsden at the end of the draft last year. That worked out pretty well. They were like last round picks. They got a little steam as the like training camp went on, but like at the beginning of the draft season, they were last round picks. That I was talking about. So I do think you can find some gems here. I'll just go by position. One, I don't like drafting quarterbacks at the end of the drafts. Never. Like, I refuse to do it. A couple guys, though. I do like George Halani at running back. He's still here. Nick Singleton, because I think he probably is a 0 the beginning of the year, but if Tennessee's really bad, I could see him getting more run at the end of the year, like the last few weeks, if they're bad, like I think they could be. At wide receiver, Elijah Surratt, Xavion Thomas, Jacoby Lane, Brennan Thompson. Those are kind of wide receivers that I think are interesting late. I really like the Rams guys. Or I'm sorry, not the Rams guys, the Ravens guys. especially if Stephon Diggs doesn't sign there. Into them. Oh, and then tight end, Michael Mayer, Charlie Kolar, Elijah Arroyo. Darnell Washington's usually here. I'm going to take Elijah Arroyo since I got Sam Darnold. My tight ends are so gross. Theo Johnson, I think, is interesting. All right. Michael Mayer, Eli Stowers. A tight end, I think, is the way to go if you're picking like at the end. Because, man, these guys, they have paths to being pretty solid tight ends, I think. Especially Michael Mayer, Theo Johnson, who I think those teams play a lot of 2 and 3 tight end sets. So I think they could be on the field with the tight end ones. I do have a couple Chargers here. You know what? Let's do it for the bit. Let's take Charlie Kolar. My tight ends are so gross. Look at those tight ends. Greg Dulcich, Colby Parkinson, Elijah Arroyo, and Charlie Kolar. Whew, that's not good. I like my wide receivers. I like my running backs. I even don't mind my quarterbacks. I hate that I had to take Geno early. But I think Sam Darnold, where he went, is a value. I paired him with Elijah Arroyo. I wish I could have got Rashid Shaheed, but I got the Week 17 stuff with Jalen Coker and Tet McMillan. So maybe that game pops off. And then Drake May's gonna have to carry, I think, this team. But man, my wide receivers, Drake London, Tet McMillan, Mike Evans in the 5th, Quentin Johnson, Romeo Doubs, Jalen Coker, and Kayshon Boutte. I think that's a really good receiving room, to be honest with you. So I hate my tight ends. That's where I probably lose in a lot of spots. But if my other spots can kind of make up for tight end and I can get 1 or 2 of those tight ends to give me like in a Rondé Gadsden to a Harold Fannin type year, which I know is highly unlikely probably, but you never know. That's what this team needs. I don't hate it. Yeah, I thought about Raritan, another week 11 bye though. I felt like my team already had a lot of week 11 buys. But I did think about Raritan. He did work with May. Yeah, I can do a quick review. Brandon Cox. Let's see. I got you. Pick 11. All right. Yeah, if you want to review, just let me know your pick. I am going to jump in another draft. I want to check and see where we're at with the 555. Lee says, is someone going to sign Joe Mixon? What team might or would? You know what I don't like about Joe Mixon is whatever happened with him, there was like really no reporting on what actually happened all year last year. Like they were trying to hide it. Something bad happened. Then obviously doesn't play the whole year. That doesn't bode well for a guy in Joe Mixon who has, he's got a lot of mileage, man. He's played a lot. How old is Joe Mixon too? Let's see. Joe Mixon he's 29. Honestly, he's younger than I thought. I thought he was in his 30s. So he's probably almost 30. Yeah, I think Joe Mixon might just be done. Absolutely. Let's actually do that. And yeah, Jay, I got you. We'll get you one. Pick 6 review, 100%. Yeah, the Bryce Young team, LOL. I got you, bro. I remember you. Let's do Brandon Cox. I am gonna pull up. I want to see where the 555's at, and then I'll look at the rest of your teams here. All right. So if anyone wants to get into 555, we are still not filled here. So we still got spots if anyone is looking to get in a 555. But we're going to rip another DK25 here. So let's do the reviews, and then we'll do another $25 here. So let's start with Brandon Cox. He is out of the 11 spot here. Actually, let me just pull this thing over here so I can see a little better. All right. So he went James Cook, Saquon Barkley, Zay Flowers, Javonte Williams, Lamar Jackson, Parker Washington, Trevor Lawrence, Kyle Pitts, Jordan Addison at 102, Jacoby Myers, Mark Andrews, Jaden Higgins, Brenton Strange, Malik Washington, Dylan Sampson, Sean Tucker, Katron Allen, Troy Franklin, Tutu Atwell, and Devontae Walker from Baltimore here. So first off, love the quarterbacks. Love the quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence. I think you did the right thing. Only going 2 quarterbacks here. Getting that 2-6-9-3 build. I don't build a lot of 2 quarterback teams, but I honestly feel like I should. And this is the exact way I'd want to build it, right? You get Zay Flowers in the 3rd round. Honestly, 35 is a pretty good pick considering I've been seeing him going earlier and earlier in drafts in the 3rd round. So I think pick 35 is very fair for Zay Flowers. So I love that, getting that pairing. It stinks you couldn't get like a T Higgins, like the Zay Flower T Higgins thing to fall. This guy in the 12 spot took him. But then you go Javonte. So your running backs are stacked. I mean, James Cook, Saquon, Javonte. I'm not a huge Javonte guy. But 4th round Javonte, I think is fair. I think he's very similar to a Josh Jacobs, where you just want like the volume, man. But if he gets that volume, and he is that workhorse again, which I think he will be, he probably is just a fine pick here in the 4th round. It's the same way I view Josh Jacobs. I think they're very similar. Not like player, but just in the way they get there is very similar. You want all those high value touches, and I think both those guys keep getting the high value touches. Then you get your Parker Washington, Trevor Lawrence stack. I'm into that. I'm very much into Trevor Lawrence here. I love how Liam Cohen was using him. He was using his legs last year a ton. They opened up that offense. I think Parker Washington brings just a different dynamic. Getting Travis Hunter back just adds to the stacked room that they have. They paid Brenton Strange, Jacoby Myers. The offense really started to turn when Jacoby Myers got there. Everything, Brian Thomas, all reports are good reports. Maybe he starts the season off healthy, as opposed to last year where he was not healthy most of the year, playing with a bunch of injuries. And, man, I think Trevor Lawrence, if everybody's healthy, he's in for a big fantasy season. So love that. And then just, like, all these picks here are just solid. Like, Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews, Brenton Strange. That's a good tight end room right there. I think you did a really good job. You got a strong running back room, a great quarterback room. You got some fallers at wide receiver, Jordan Addison in the hundreds, Jacoby Myers, Jordan Addison picked 107, Jacoby Myers picked 110 to go with Trevor Lawrence, Jaden Higgins, Malik Washington. Really, this team is going to come down to your wide receivers. Can your wide receivers, especially your wide receiver 3 and 4, hold up? Because if they can, then this team could be a smash. I will say, though, like, I probably would have went 10 wide receivers on this team instead of 6 running backs. Not that I don't like your running backs that you have, but like Dylan Sampson, Sean Tucker, and Katron Allen, I think are good running backs to target in the back half of drafts. I just don't think you needed 6. You have 3 in the top 4. You're going to want these guys to be horses for you. So this is a 4 or 5 running back team to me. I think that's the only place where you went wrong is I would have went a 10th wide receiver, but love the team. Brandon, I think you did a good job overall. I like it. Let's go to, I think, who was the 12 spot, right? We wanted 12 and 6, I think, were the other two drafted. Yeah, 12 spot. Jay. Let's see what he did. Genty Kenny Walker in the 12th spot. Oh, I love Genty Kenny Walker. That's a great start right there. Maybe my preferred start at the turn based off of who is normally there. Genty Kenny Walker. I love that. T. Higgins, Colston Loveland, Roma Dunze, some Bears. You know I'm into the Bears. Carnell Tate, Alec Pierce, Chris Godwin, Jackson Dart, Rico Dowdle, Cam Ward, Tyrone Tracy, Aaron Rodgers, Omar Cooper Jr., Cade Otton, Brian Robinson, Darnell Washington, Keon Coleman, Kamani Vidal, Eli Stowers. Okay, this team is so straightforward to me. It's going to come down to, I think, your quarterbacks. Because you got to you got to stud at tight end in Colston Loveland. I don't think you needed the fourth quarterback, but I think it's fine because of where you drafted the other three. So I don't hate it. But Jackson Dart's health, I like Jackson Dart at pick 108. That's a nice fall right there. And you did find some guys. You got the Tyrone Tracy thing to pair with them. And really you want Jackson Dart's legs anyways. I do think Theo Johnson would have been an interesting final tight end pick to go with Jackson Dart. But you do have Aaron Rodgers. You went Darnell Washington, so that's good there. And then Cam Ward, you got with your Carnell Tate. This is what I think your team comes down to. I think all your other spots, you have them filled out really well. It's just going to come down to your quarterback play. Can Jackson Dart stay healthy? Can Cam Ward and Aaron Rodgers combine for some usable weeks here? Because you're going to need it, I think, with Jackson Dart, who I think is going to give you some big weeks. But is he going to play the whole season? Is he going to have a couple down weeks? I think he will. Are they going to lean more on the run game early with this team while Malik Neighbors is still kind of banged up? Those are all questions. So yeah, I think your team's coming down to the quarterback, but overall like it. I just wish you had maybe a better QB2. I feel like the QB stuff after Baker Mayfield, Malik Willis kind of drops off hard for me, and I hate drafting them, honestly. Like, I think Sam Darnold's probably the safest. Sam Darnold, CJ Stroud are like the safest two. But I still don't love picking them. Let's see. Out of the 6th spot here, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey, Josh Jacobs, Quinshon Judkins. Oh, banger. Brian Thomas Jr., Justin Herbert, Kyle Monungai, Harold Fannin, Matthew Golden, Isaiah Likely, the fall with JCM. You got Bryce Young to go with Justin Herbert for your QB2. Then Jennings, A.D. Mitchell, Zachariah Branch, Calvin Ridley, Cooper Kupp, Nick Singleton, Jordan James to finish it out. Man, this is a good team. Another team, I think you need Justin Herbert to be like MVP Herbert, because your other positions are stacked. I mean, Fannin, Bowers, Likely. Honestly, I can make the case that that's too much at tight end. With Bowers, I would have, honestly, you could have stopped at Bowers and Fannin or Bowers and Likely. And if you wanted a third tight end, you could have drafted one at the end. So I think if I was picking on this team, I love these tight ends. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Isaiah Likely. I think Harold Fannin in the hundreds is a great pick. And you don't have to sell me on Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is going to be a fantasy monster. Love Amon-Ra and Ladd McConkey. I think it's just too much early capital on tight end spent if I'm going Brock Bowers. And Bryce Young, I kind of wish you got something like a Chris Brazzell at the end. I don't see where he went, but maybe he got sniped from you. I'm not sure. But overall, the rest of the spots, like I think your running backs are good enough to keep you there. You got the week 11 bye going with your top two, but yeah, I think just the tight end stuff, I don't love as much just because of how much capital you spent on them. And the, Bryce Young unstacked, not into, but I get you just needed a quarterback at that spot. I wish you used one of those tight end picks on a quarterback. That's what I wish. You know, you go Jordan Love, Matthew Golden right there. Bang. You get, that would make me feel way better about this. And then you still get Isaiah Likely in this like tight end range. The 6 team is nice. Because like I said, outside of like my nitpicks with the quarterback and the tight end spot, like his players, I mean, that's loaded. Like those first 5 picks are so good. Josh Jacobs in the 4th round, Crenshaw Junkins in the middle of the 5th. I think those guys are going to be steady Eddie. I think Ladd McConkey's got massive upside. Brock Bowers got massive upside. It's good stuff right there. I agree. See, people like the 6th pick. Great looking team. I just can't go that high on Bowers. I very rarely get to him, unfortunately. You know, I think Brock Bowers is one of those guys. It's like you're either completely in or completely out based off of how high you normally draft tight ends. The way I look at Brock Bowers, though, he is listed at tight end. But like if you're drafting Brock Bowers, you got to think he's got that Travis Kelce type upside that year where after he was going in the 1st round and he's like just target monster, almost like the possibility to be in the Amon-Ra, JSN, Puka, Chase conversation at the end of the day. You got to think he's got that upside. All right, we are 6 of 12 for the 555 still. So if you want to get in that, hop in. I'm going to get in another $25. So if you guys want to hop in with me, I'm pulling it up right now on my phone. And I'm going to click in here. So if anyone wants to get in, I'm clicking in. 3, 2, 1. And we're in. 10 of 12. So 10 of 12. If you're quick to hit the button. Who is quick enough? Who is quick enough to hit the button and get in on a draft here? Oh, baby. And we got the 1 spot, too. Let me pull this thing up here. Where am I? Man, I feel like I haven't got the 1 pick in a while. Pull this up here. The 101 is easy. The 101 is easy. My guy, Mr. Gibbs. Welcome to the team. All right. Damn. Yeah, that was a quick one. Unfortunately, when I got in, it was already 10 to 12. If you did get in this draft with me, though, let me know. Put in the chat where you are picking from here. Hopefully, no more sniping for anyone that's in here, whether you're silent or you're talking. No sniping. Those be the rules. Man, I haven't got the 1 spot in a while. This feels good. It's just a clear Jahmyr Gibbs, in my opinion. All right, let's see what the 555 is doing. Okay, we're at 7 of 12. All right, we're moving in the right direction here. 7 of 12 for the 555. Damn. Oh, man, my guy. He couldn't get in to snipe. Yeah, you can have Bryce Young. This is going to be the draft where I don't get Tet or any of those guys. Hell yeah. Yeah, if you guys are drafting, but you're not in this draft with me, but you want to send me your team, feel free. Shoot me a DM in Discord. Yeah. At me on Twitter, at JSURab on Twitter. And I'll look at them. I'll pull them up live on the show. I don't care. If you're hanging out, you're drafting, whether you're in this draft or not, I'll break it down. I feel like people like the team breakdowns after. I feel like people like getting their team broken down and talk through them a little bit. Let's see. What do I have for my 17% Amon-Ra, baby? That's a true Amon-Ra. This is a true Amon-Ra drafter right here. Look at him. Pick 5. He said, JSN, hold my beer. I need a little Amon-Ra. I need a little sun god in my life. I do need a little sun, man. I was out in Florida last week. Whew, man, that sun. The sun hits different over there. Sun hits different. FK Coolers, how liberating does it feel? Does it always feel to draft without the top click police? Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. And I love my guy Sack, but he definitely is the top guy police. Well, actually, Shady would be the top guy police. Sack would be probably the second guy. You know, like he's not in charge, but he's like the other guy staring you down, where like the guy who's in charge, Shady, is like really looking at you side-eyed like, bro, what are you doing? Just click the top guy. I bet Shady's in this draft here. Shady, are you in the 555? Oh, no, he's not in the 555. Not yet. Where'd my guy Sack go? My guy Sack was in this draft, and then he jumped out. Come on, Sacrilegious. I know you're out there. I know you're out there. You're waiting to get in. You ever pull up someone random to the one spot to get some unique combos? You know, at the one spot, I don't. At the one, so like, well, wait, do you mean like for the first pick overall? No, not the first pick overall. I will at the 2-3 turn if I don't get guys that I view as like just easy clicks. I don't mind pulling up some guys at the 2-3 turn in the one spot that maybe normally go in the other half of the board, but in the 12 spot I will. Like in the 12 spot, sometimes I'll do Chase Brown, Derrick Henry. Sometimes I'll do Kenny Walker and Omari and Hampton. So yeah, it kind of depends where I'm drafting, you know, what I'm looking for. James Cook, Achane, you know, stuff like that. Where are you from, JSU? North Carolina here, hot AF. I'm from Massachusetts. So I am about 45 minutes west of Boston, if you've ever been around here. So it gets hot, it gets cold, but I just feel like the Florida heat, it just hits different. I don't know. Does anyone feel that way? Just hits very different. So I got Gibbs. Who do I want here? I'm normally a Rashid Rice guy. We'll take him. The kick is saying Arizona. JSU is saying Nabra. Devontae Smith. I'm just not into the Arizona stuff. Not in the Arizona stuff. My guy, the Bills, he's back. Damn, I was going to jump into this draft. You got to be quick, bro. You got to have the phone or the computer. You got to be ready. That's right. Slim Reaper. He's got his opportunity, baby. He's got his opportunity to be wide receiver one on that team finally. And he can do it, man. He's really good. We're gonna find out just how good though with Devontae Smith, but he's really good. I think he's gonna be good. No cards, police. I right here. No cards, police. Until you guys take it too far though, and we push these guys to like the end of the third round, then I'll have to start drafting these guys, and it will happen. It will happen. Look, Trey McBride's still on the board. It's going to keep happening. Kyle, what are your thoughts on Bucky Irving this year? I am not as into Bucky Irving for a few different reasons. One, where he's going, I think there's just better running backs. I think there's running backs with less that they have to deal with around them to get the share, to get the valuable touches. I think Bucky Irving is in a great offense. I think the line is going to be good. But my issue with Bucky is I think Kenny Gainwell is really good. And I think we saw it with Pittsburgh, how good. And he's going to get the beginning, he'll get like the Rachaad White treatment. But I think Kenny is just overall, he's like more of an all-around solid running back than we give him credit for. And I think in this offense, we're going to see that again. Plus, he's got to deal with the Sean Tucker bullshit. Like, if they do the thing again where Bucky comes out at the goal line, we're going to be so mad. Like, and I think that could happen. I think so if he's losing passing down work, maybe he's losing a few carries to Kenny, a few drives, and then he's possibly losing some goal line touches like he did last year. That's not good for Bucky Irving. So for me, I'm a little lower than the field on old Bucky Irving. Just looking at ADP right now, where Bucky Irving goes. Let's see. By ADP, where's he at? Where's Bucky? Did I miss him? Bucky Irving. So he's got a 60 ADP, but he's been going higher than that. Like I want Tootin. I think he's got less to deal with. I'm not as worried about Chris Rodriguez. And then LaQuint Allen is literally just there for pass protection stuff. Quinshon Judkins, I think, gets all the goal line stuff. I'd rather lean into the upside with Travion Henderson. He's got to deal with just one running back, whereas Bucky's got to deal with two. And Travion, the reception stuff, like as a pass catcher, he could be very valuable. I know Ramondre was pretty good too, but I think the upside's just crazy there. So, yeah, it just stinks for Bucky because I think he's a good running back. I don't love what's around him, and I don't love how they were using him last year. And I also don't love the fact that, his numbers, they just were like, there were a lot of running back. Like Kenny Gainwell was just a better running back last year than Bucky Irving. The numbers show that out. Everything shows that out if you go back and look at what they did last year. So that worries me a little bit. But you could tell me just to combat that or to come back at me, Bucky was dealing with a lot. He had the injury stuff, and then he had the mental health stuff, which I feel like doesn't get talked up enough. Not that we want that. I'm just saying, like, he was going through a bunch of shit, and I feel like a lot of people are glossing over that fact, just looking at the injury stuff, and it was more than just the injury stuff with him. So maybe that had something to do with the way they used him when he came back. I don't know. Swift goes there. All right, so we get, well, you guys know my feelings on Mr. Mike Evans. I think, Gibbs is 6 for the bye. I think David Montgomery's a really good pick here at the end of the 4th round, and I think Mike Evans is a great pick in the 5th round. Goes with my Devontae Smith. Let's see. Kenny might be a better fit for the actual run scheme as well, not just the pass work. Yeah, I agree with you, Lee. 100% could be a better fit. The Tampa is going to be also, too, I think Tampa is going to play in a lot of game-friendly scripts for Kenny Gainwell, because I think the defense, specifically the secondary, is going to be bad. The front seven's actually really good, but the defense is going to actually be bad. I think it's going to put them in some interesting game scripts where they got to use Kenny more, or they want to use Kenny more. Kind of like how the Steelers were put in some of those, and they with Aaron Rodgers, it wasn't necessarily the game script, but it was like Aaron Rodgers script, where like Aaron Rodgers just needed him out there because he wanted to throw to get the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible. So Kenny was just always like the safety blanket. But no, I think he's going to be like very game script friendly, and in certain spots, like, man, against the Rams in week 17, like they could get down 20-0 and it could be Kenny Gainwell trailing script for the rest of the game. Like Kenny Gainwell could smash in some of these trailing scripts. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong and Bucky Irving eats into Kenny's passing work. I just don't think he does. And if he loses goal line work, then it's really rough. That's where it's really bad. Rich, just getting on, going to watch from the start. Draft smart, brother. Hey, Rich, I drafted my first draft. I drafted no sidekick. Now, this draft, I didn't draft the top guy for every click, though. But I did do no sidekick on the first draft. So let me know what you think. I will say my tight ends are disgusting. For sure, they lost their only good secondary piece in Dean. Yeah, Jamel Dean gone. And like I said, the front seven is going to be good, but I think that only makes the scripts better for them from like a passing standpoint, because I think teams are going to have to throw more against the Bucs. You know, they're going to see like the weakness, be like, we can't run on this team. We got to pass on this team. And I think in turn, that's going to put them in some really fun game scripts for Baker and company. So that's the case, though, for why I like Baker, Kenny Gainwell. Jalen McMillan, I think, goes a little too late. I think Ted Hurst is a good rookie receiver. I just don't know if he's going to get much luck early. But who knows? You never know what happens. Guys go down, you know. So, yeah, I mean, Tampa's a good – I think Tampa's an offense to buy. And I like that Emeka Egbuka in some drafts is starting to fall a little bit more. So I'm starting to – I had like no Emeka Egbuka, and I've clicked him a couple times now recently because he's starting to fall. And it's a price game, man. Best ball, like you want to lean on takes. Obviously, I do a lot. But at the same time, you got to have a price to where you can buy back in on a player, even a player you don't love. And that's the game, man. That's the game you got to mess around with. You know, one of the reasons I didn't like Arizona in the beginning is because in my head, you know, not just all the concerns with the quarterback and everything like that, but I thought that eventually they'd fall even more. And it's kind of happening. And I'm still not really like buying in a ton, but honestly, like now these guys are both going, Love and McBride, in the 3rd round. That's, you know, Trey McBride was a 2nd round pick early in the year. Jeremiah Love was going in the 2nd or 3rd round in the beginning. We're back up on the clock. Let's see. Jaden at the top of the kick. Jalen Warren is here. I'm going to go Jalen Warren. Oh, you know what? I got to do Hurts, right? I was thinking about QJ with Rashid Rice. Yeah, I'm going to go Hurts here. I know I'm taking him over Jaden, but I think it's the right play with the team. I was going to get the Rashid Rice, Quentin Johnston, but I don't know if I get that fall with Herbert or Mahomes. I'd rather get a quarterback. Pretty balanced start here. Gibbs, Rice, Devontae Smith, David Montgomery, Mike Evans, Jalen Warren, and Jalen Hurts. Not a bad start. Pretty balanced. Lee Price, their front is talking about the Bucks. Their front is great, so they will be the ultimate pass funnel this year, leading to fun script. Exactly. 100%, Lee. That's exactly how I view it. And just looking at, let's look at who do they, so they get the Rams in 17. They get, listen to this, man, the playoff weeks for them are gold. So they get, in week 15, Tampa Bay gets New Orleans at home in Tampa. Good place to play. Then they go at Atlanta in the Dome. Good place to play. And then they get the Rams back at home. I mean, shit. Is there a better 3-game stretch than that? You can say the Rams are a tough team, which I would agree. But you could also make the case that the Rams are going to score and put them in a game script where they have to pass, which makes me not like Bucky Irving as much. To my point, which makes me not like Bucky Irving as much in that type of game in script. But yeah, what a 3-game stretch right there. I think I'm way too low. I think I'm way. I need more Baker. Shit. We're talking this thing up, man. I need more Baker. Big time. How come Big T isn't doing drafts with you here and there? Rich, the reason why Big T has not done a draft yet is it's July. I will get Big T on, but it's going to be in August for sure. I promise. I will force him on a show, but I can't get that man to do a draft until August. And August is pushing it, to be honest with you. He likes to do stuff. Big T is a last minute type of guy. And if you don't know what I mean by that, everything is last minute. He gets everything done. It's done, and it's done well, but it's all last minute. It's all right up to game, right up to this, right up to that. That's just how Big T rolls, man. It's my guy. That's how he rolls. But yes, I will get him on a stream for sure. Actually, if you do want to hear Big T talk some ball, and by ball, I mean football, you can tune in today or later tonight, Sirius XM from 6 to 8. My man Big T will be on Sirius XM from 6 to 8. So after the World Cup wraps up, if you want to go get some Big T football takes, Sirius XM 6 to 8. Tune in. He'll be live. Oh, Blake Corum goes there. Bummer. Absolute bummer. All right. So we get the choice here. I'll let this guy pick first. Of course, Mahomes does fall to us. We do have Rashid Rice. The kick saying Mahomes. I got a ton of Mahomes, though. I want Brock Purdy on this team. I don't have it. I have 13% Purdy. I have 23% Mahomes. I'm going to go Brock Purdy. Question is, do I take them both here? I probably don't need them both. The kick's still telling me to take both, though, which is interesting. I have Hurts, Brock Purdy. I think Michael Pittman's a decent pick. Man, I think I'm going to do it. Screw it. Screw it. Probably didn't need to do that, but Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes. So I get 3 really nice pairings. So I get my quarterbacks all stacked up with their number 1 receiver. I got Rashid Rice with Pat. I got Mike Evans with Brock, and I've got Devontae Smith with Jalen Hurts. And then I got 3 pretty good running backs, or 3 running backs I am into, and Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, and Jalen Warren. Let's see how this draft shakes out. This is going to be interesting here. Because by the time I get back up, I get in that tight end pocket. So we'll see the wide receivers start to get thin, I feel like, in that tight end pocket. But who knows? Maybe a wide receiver falls past ADP. What do you guys think? Do you think I did that wrong? Do you think I should have went only one of Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes and should have went with like a Michael Pittman to pair with my Jalen Warren? Like, what do you guys think? Because I think that would have been that would have been where I would have went. I think I would have went Michael Pittman, who I do like as well, to pair with Jalen Warren if I didn't go with Patrick Mahomes. Don't normally go 3 quarterbacks in a row either. The kick was also telling me to do it. So if I can blame the kick if I'm wrong. I forgot to check on the 555. Oh, 1 spot left. Oh, baby. All right. If you want to get into a 555 draft, we have 1 spot left to fill this thing, to fill this bad boy here. So hop on in. Let's get this thing filled. We are 11 of 12 right now in the 555. And somehow there's no shady and no sacrilegious. I mean, come on, guys. We might get a lit 555 here. I don't have to deal with shady or sack. I might go all top guy. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if I would do that. I might do that. I don't know. Probably no. My average is about 25%. What do we do with Kittle? There was good news on Kittle the other day. Brandon Cox. Oh, man, Kittle. Here's the thing with Kittle. I'm definitely lower than the field on Kittle, but he's also he also sometimes will randomly fall. I think my thing where he's going right now, like this draft, he went at pick 101. I think I'm out on Kittle at pick 101. I think I'd rather Kyle Pitts. I'd rather Harold Fannin. I'd rather Sam Laporta's close. I think that's close, but I think I'd rather Sam Laporta, but that is close. I think what I don't love about George Kittle is he's played a bunch of years. He's definitely comfortable in the system, but when they're healthy, they're fine with using George Kittle more as like the blocker guy. And George Kittle's okay with like accepting the fact that like his role sometimes is not to be like the main pass catcher or the alpha in the passing game, which kind of sucks because you will get the upside games from him, but man, he goes through some stretches where he's just non-existent, you know, and I don't love that with George Kittle. I'm up right now. Whoa. Okay. We did get a faller. Xavier Worthy falls back to me here. That feels pretty good. So we get Xavier Worthy, and then Matthew Golden's still here too. But the kick is saying, bro, last time your tight ends, they were ass. And you can't wait that long. I think I agree. I normally I'd be Matthew Golden here all day at pick 121, but I'm going to go Dallas Goddard to go with my Jalen Hurts stack and to get me a tight end. Love that. Love that. Yeah, and I also think George Kittle, you want to talk about a guy that's going to get hurt by Mike Evans. I think George Kittle gets hurt by a guy like Mike Evans. We still need one more guy to fill this 5-5-5. If you want to draft in a 5-5-5, one more spot remains. I'm going to actually retweet it out. 11 of 12. Bang. And we're filled. Let's do it. Love that. Love that. And you'll never guess which pick I got. Numero uno. Number 1. Man, talk about running pure today. Let's go. If you are watching this and in the 5-5-5, let me know which pick you're at so we can talk through your team as we go. I see a couple familiar faces. My boy Exumian here in the 7 spot here. T. Tolbert. I know that guy in the 9 spot. Wreck Havoc 22. He's always in these drafts. That guy plays a lot. He's in the 4 spot here. Anyone else? If anyone else is in here, let me know. Can't though forget about this draft because I'm really starting to like this draft we got going here. But let's move it aside. We gotta put the 555 up on screen here so you can see my mug for a second. Bang. And Steph Jameer Gibbs at the 101, so we can just click him. I'll move this thing over. We're making good time too. 118. This is going to be draft number 3. Almost done with draft number 2. Getting some good time here. All right. We are up here. Let's take Mr. Gibbs. Love that. Finally got a Jameer Gibbs share in the 555. That feels good. Now we'll see how my multi-tabling skills work. Finish up this thing. And I got the old ticket. I see the old ticket in my account. Shout out to DraftKings for the awesome promo, guys. If you didn't see the promo on DraftKings, it's pretty much draft 2 in the $2 $25 $3 million to first 20M contest over there, that big headliner contest they got for best ball, and they will give you a bonus ticket there. Shout out to DraftKings. Make sure you guys opt in if you didn't in the promos page, and draft 2, you'll get back 1. feels like a pretty damn good deal to finish out DraftKings Best Ball Week over on DraftKings. So, yeah, DK doing it right. Love to see it. Love to see it. All right, Exumian. You can't mess this pick up, bro. You can't mess this pick up. The sun is shining. You know what to do. God of sun. Whoa. Why is the kick saying... Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Let's see. Steph Diggs is still here. I feel like he's the right pick in my $25 draft that I still got going. At pick 144, Steph Diggs feels right. Chigo Okonkwo's still here. Doesn't really fit the build, but I am big into Chig. I think he's a pretty damn good pick. Let's do it. Let's do Chig. So in the $25, I got a 3 quarterback, 3 running back, 5 receiver, 2 tight end start here. Looking pretty good through 13 rounds. I like this team. I like what we got going on here. All right. Back to the 555. And also, guys, if you haven't checked out Run Pure Sports, promo code early NFL25 for 25% off your first payment over at Run Pure Sports on any non-Saber package on the board. You can try it out, get in the Discord, get you 25% off. Football, it's coming. It's coming quick. I mean, shit, we're already over halfway through July. It's gonna preseason's gonna be here before you know it. And we got some awesome tools, man. Stats has been building out the NFL hub, which is absolutely insane. And he's still adding to it. So damn, Derrick Henry just went. I wanted to get lucky. Wanted to get lucky with a little Derrick Henry. We are almost up on the clock. You know what? I think, let's see what the kick says, but I think I'm going to do a similar start I did on my $25 here. Rashid Rice. Yeah, it's telling me to go Arizona running back. I think I'm going to go Rashid Rice and Devontae Smith again. So we got Jahmyr Gibbs, Rashid Rice, Devontae Smith. Too late. Too late. It might have been weak, bro. You might be right. It might have been weak. I could have pulled up Ladd. The problem is, like, in the 555s, I feel like you don't have to be as unique as in the 25s, but maybe I'm wrong. That could be a flaw. Maybe I'm just off, but I mean, there's only 9,800 teams in this thing. It's a way different contest than the $25 $3 million to first, where you've got just under 1 million teams in this thing. What's it, like 960K worth of teams? I don't know. It's just it's a different contest. But you could say, well, people build that, like, people don't build that way in these things, which you'd be right. Because if you look at this draft, I mean, look at it. I guess Chase, like the 12 spot, Nope. 12 spots throwing me off here. Chase Brown, AJ Brown. I want to see what he does with his next 2 picks. James Cook, Bowers. They pulled Bowers up a little bit. CD Lamb, Barkley. That's a good start. Jefferson, Genty. I mean, Genty falling down to 16 is nice. I'm a big fan of the Amon-Ra, Kenny Walker. Man, Sabersim logo, Drake and Fire. He's got a fire start. Amon-Ra, Kenny Walker, Breece Hall. I think that's a very good start right there. Extremely good start. My guy Exumian's got a JT, Devon Achane, Zay Flowers. Back up on our other draft here. Gonna take a little Debo. Man, the running backs are so bad. Like, what's left at running back is so bad. Kenyon Sadiq still here at 169. I don't draft a lot of Kenyon Sadiq. I'll take a Sadiq share. Oh, I'm sorry, Tesla. Thought I was going to go Sadiq. Take my boy Tesla, though. All right. I need to figure out my last couple running backs for this team. I got a 3-3-7-2 over here cooking. Probably don't need much more. Well, no, my wide receivers, I could use a little more. I would say like first week in August. Maybe the week before that, actually. Like end of July, first week in August, somewhere around there. I can't remember when they did it last year, though. But week 1 pricing, hopefully soon. Oh, Mike Evans just went. Balls. We wanted it. We wanted another Mike Evans. And Tet goes. Damn. Damn, that's not fun. Scat goes there. Terry McLaurin's still here. I'm going to take Montgomery, and then I think I'm going to take... I think I'm going to take my cover boy, actually. I normally I would take the Terry stuff, but I'm going to take Travion here. We're on the ends. I think I got a safe running back in David Montgomery. And now I get my upside. So I got Gibbs, Rice, Smith, Montgomery, Travion Henderson. So I have so much Tootin. Is he still here? Look at that. I've got so much Tootin, bro. That's normally who I would go with too. But I'm trying to up my exposure to Travion Henderson. Because I've been clicking Tootin so much in this range. Also, too, I have a lot of Tootin in the 6th round because there was a time where, you know, I've been drafting since this contest came out. There was a time where Tootin was a 6th rounder. So, but yeah, no, I love Byshell Tootin. I think I like the combo of Monty Gibbs to go with Travion because now if it doesn't start out perfect for Travion, like at the beginning of the year, this team isn't screwed. Like, it can survive a couple shitty weeks. We're almost back up on the clock here. So, who do I want? I'll take Dontavian Wicks to go with my Philly. Braylon Allen or Marshawn Lloyd. Do I have a... No, I don't. I'm gonna take Lloyd. I don't have a lot of Lloyd. And he seems to be screaming up boards. So in the other draft that I'm doing, I've got 3 picks left to go. I'm at a 3 quarterback, 4 running back, 8 receiver, 2 tight end build. Looking pretty strong. Back to the 555. We are almost there. Jaden goes. Damn, this is interesting. This guy in the 12 spot, Chase Brown, AJ Brown, Luther Burden, Colson Loveland, Caleb Williams, Drake May. Interesting. Jake goes. Bang, okay, I get my Jalen Hurts. Let's see. Gibbs, Montgomery, Hendo. God, Tony Pollard and Jalen Warren. The kick says Tony Pollard. I've got them ranked like literally 1 spot ahead. I think Warren's on the better team. I think Tony Pollard gets the for sure role. All right, we'll go Tony Pollard here. And now my running backs are they're done. I got 4 stud running backs. I got at least 1 good quarterback. I'm going to have to make it up at receiver and tight end, but that I can do. Would have been nice to just get quarterback out of the way. That's okay. So 7 picks in. We got Gibbs, Rashid Rice, Devontae Smith, David Montgomery, Travion Henderson, Jalen Hurts, Tony Pollard. Let's see what else guys are doing here. So Wreck Havoc, who I always see in these drafts, picking out of the 4 spot. Puka, George Pickens, T. Higgins, Mike Evans, DeAndre Swift, Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott. So he's got Joey B with T. Higgins. He's got Dak with George. Went up and got Mike Evans. Interesting. Then DeAndre Swift. So he's got 1 running back through the first 7. I think that's a unique build right there. Because I think most people are building closer stuff to what I'm building. Maybe not 4 running backs, but 3 in the first like 7 picks than they are 1 in the first 7 picks. So that'll be interesting to see how he fills that out. With Swift being his RB1. I do like Swift. I'm always a Swift guy, but I wish Tet fell to me. Bummer. Look at that fall though. Like this is where like in the mid to late 4, that's where Tet should be going, and he's starting to go there. That's why I'm trying to up my Tet shares right now, because he's starting to fall, and I don't think it continues for all of draft season. So I think he's someone people want to be into, but it's the Bryce Young thing that's scaring them. Patrick Mahomes just goes, damn. I didn't think he was going to fall to me, but I wanted him to fall to me. Damn it. Almost up for both these drafts here. You gotta love it when the top guy on your click is on the kick is Charlie Kolar. Gotta love that. Oh, Josh Down just goes. Such a bummer. Unbelievable. Of course, Blake Corum's still here. Need wide receivers. I'm not into Michael Wilson. I don't have any Vegas either. I think I'll go Jackson Dart here as a quarterback, just because I think he's a good quarterback that I don't have to worry about pairing. Jordan Addison, Harold Fannin. I'll go Jordan Addison here. My wide receivers are definitely going to be where this team. I'm going to have to lean into it, probably take 9 or 10. All right, 9 picks in. This other draft is just wrapping up. I got one more pick left in it. 3-4-8-4 build. Probably going to go running back with my last pick or receiver. This is a team I could just go four running backs, but I'll probably take a 5th unless all the guys I have clicked are gone. Then we'll pivot. Just queuing some guys up. Probably going to look back on this draft and be like, damn, I wish I took one wide receiver instead of Tony Pollard, but I hated that range. Like, man, I like Mekhi Lemon, but I like when he falls. Did fit my team, though. But I have Smith. I can still get Wicks later. Still potential for more stacks, I guess, if I want. And then I got Hurts and Jackson Dart as my 2 quarterbacks, which I think is fine. Damn, Blake Corum's still here. Someone's going to get a nice fall on Blake Corum. Yeah, that's the right pick. This guy in the one hole, RJ, Kalmanungai, Harold Fannin fall. It's a very interesting build. It's got to take a receiver here. Yep, Jacoby. Jared Goff's still here. Who's got Sun got? Oh, there he goes. I was going to say. Wow, this guy went 5 running backs in a row. Kenny Walker, Breece Hall, Javonte, Judkins, Bucky. He's in the same boat. He's going to need to figure out the wide receiver stuff, but a lot of good running backs there. Falls, too. Javonte in the mid-4th. Some falls. And I am almost up here. Baker goes. Damn. Baker goes. So. I needed to get a receiver. I need to get Romeo. Kick is saying Trav. But you know what? I'm an Isaiah Likely, bro. I also like Dallas Goedert. I'm going to take Likely. And, of course, the running back all 3 running backs that I had ready in my other draft just went. So we'll take Brennan Thompson with the last pick. All right, so for my $25 that I had rolling on the other end, we have Jahmyr Gibbs at the 101, Jahmyr Gibbs, Rashid Rice, Devontae Smith, David Montgomery, Mike Evans, Jalen Warren, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Pat Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Dallas Goedert, Steph Diggs, Chigo Okonkwo, Deebo Samuel, Isaac Tesla, Dontavian Wicks, Marshawn Lloyd, Charlie Kolar, Eli Stowers, and Brennan Thompson. I wanted Jordan James or Keelan Black or George Halani with my last pick, and they all went in the final round. Bummer. But overall, I like the draft. You know what I mean? My main 3 running backs have to hold up, but if they do, and Marshawn Lloyd gives me anything, looking okay. I think I like the rest of my team. I like how it's stacked up. I got 4 tight ends too because I feel like it was the weak point of my team. So I wanted to get 4: Goddard, Chig, Kolar, and Stowers, which fit the team with bringbacks or pairing up stacks. So yeah, overall, I think a pretty good one. Gonna go back to the 555. Still got a full round. Okay, so my guy, Brandon Cox, he DM'd me another team here. Let's look at it. And I think I love this team here. Caleb Williams, Chase Brown, Travion Henderson, CeeDee Lamb, Chris Olave, Josh Downs, Colson Loveland, Kenny Gainwell, Dak Prescott, George Kittle, Jalen Coker, Tyrone Tracy, Steph Diggs, Ryan Flournoy, Brian Robinson, Sean Tucker, Jaden Blue, Troy Franklin, Michael Mayer, and Xavier Thomas. A 2-7-8-3 build. I like this team, man. I don't think you needed to go the 7th running back, but I get why you did it because you kind of waited for them. But, man, this is a good team. This is a good team. Your quarterbacks obviously need to hold up with only having 2 of them, but 2 good ones in Caleb and Dak. You got them paired nice with Loveland and Lamb. And then you've got some like cheaper bringbacks too, or cheaper stack partners too with Flournoy and Xavier Thomas, who I think is a pretty fun 20th round pick. Ben Johnson got, and I could see Ben Johnson like slow rolling him a little bit, but he could be one of those guys that kind of like a Cavante Turpin will randomly pop off for like a game or 2 here and there, catch like a deep touchdown or something on like one of those gadget plays. Xavier could be that guy that like Ben Johnson trick plays. He's out there. I could totally see that happening. Okay, so we're back up on the clock here. A little fall on Tyrone Tracy. I do have his quarterback. I don't really need a running back. I definitely want Jalen McMillan. God, I almost clicked on Woody Marks. How bad would that been? I know the kick loves Omar Cooper. It's saying wide receiver. I'm going to take Jalen Naylor. I'm a little higher on Jalen Naylor than the field. I just think, like, if you don't buy into if you don't buy into the Brock Bowers stuff, how are you not buying into a Jalen Naylor or a Trey Tucker? Unless you think like a Stephon Diggs or someone like that, Debo, or someone signs with the Raiders, which is, I guess, possible. But it feels kind of like they're running this squad out there, and the only move they made for the skill guys is Jalen Naylor. So it kind of makes sense to me. You know what I mean? It kind of makes sense that Jalen Naylor might actually have some pretty good weeks, you know, or Trey Tucker, one of those two. Whoever it is, whoever you think it is, I'm going to lean on Jalen Naylor because they went out and got him, but, you know, it could be Trey Tucker. And this team just needs shots like that. Like, where you look at this team, is like, okay, I got two good receivers, but then a lot of running backs, quarterbacks, and then wide receiver 2, Jordan Addison, wide receiver 2, Romeo Doubs, like clear. Or I guess Addison, you could say maybe he's the wide receiver 3. I think he's the wide receiver 2, but maybe he is the wide receiver 3. And then Jalen McMillan, who I guess you could say is wide receiver 3, could be the wide receiver 2. I don't know. It's kind of fringe. Jalen Naylor, you know, Brock Bowers is technically wide receiver 1, but you could say he's wide receiver 2. And at pick 147, I think those are some pretty good shots. You know, I just talked about it. I drafted McMillan, who's probably wide receiver 3 on a better, I think, offense overall, better offense to invest in. But like Jordan Addison, I picked earlier, and it was kind of because I needed a receiver and I didn't love what was around me. But I don't think he's the wide receiver 3, but I guess you could make the case. I mean, Zane was making the case that Juwan Jennings, he's not a deep guy, which he really isn't. So he's more short and intermediate guy. And JJ is going to be used kind of all around the field, which kind of leads like Jordan Addison to maybe being that take the top off, but, you know, has that big average depth of target and is going to be extremely hit or miss style with this team, which probably wouldn't be very fantasy friendly or something, you know, but it is best ball. So we could still use like the big spike weeks, but still the consistency might not be there. And where he's going in the 90s, early hundreds, like you still want some consistency from someone like Jordan Addison. And it might be tough, you know, might be tough to see it. Let's see. So I've got a 2 quarterback, 4 running back, 6 receiver, 1 tight end build. So we get a fall on Juwan Jennings. I should just take him, but I kind of want 2 tight ends here. I'm not like even super into Juwan Jennings, but that's okay. We can take him here. And then this one's a close one here between I think AJ Barner and Greg Dulcich. I'm going to take Greg Dulcich just because he's screaming up draft boards, and I want a little piece. Could be the number 1 or number 2, I guess, outside of A-Chan, but like from a pass kit, like a receiver tight end standpoint, could be the number 1 or number 2 target, as crazy as that is to say for a team in the National Football League. Like, Greg Dulcich should never be your number 1 or number 2 target. But also Malik Washington shouldn't be your number 1 or number 2 target. So is what it is. Depending on what time we finish this at. Let's see. What do we got here for? We got a few. Do we got a few likes rocking here? Yeah, let's get the likes up. If we can get this 5:55 done, and we still have a little time between now and the World Cup game, I'll get in one more. Let's hit the like button though. Appreciate all the likes here. 48, 50, 49 people watching on YouTube. 24, 25 likes. Not bad. Not bad. Take a 50%. But I would appreciate the like button here. We're running, what, like over 2 hours now? Yeah. Got 225s in. Finishing up the 5:55. DraftKings best ball week. I mean, we had to finish out. We had to finish out with a nice long stream here. Rudy thinks it's Trey. You think Trey Tucker? I will say Trey Tucker at 165 is a nice fall. Because regardless, one of us is probably going to be right. Whether they're number 1 or number 2, it doesn't matter. It's still, I think, an improved offense with an improved offensive line, by far improved coaching for sure, especially offensively with Kubiak. The run game, I think, is going to be better, which in turn is going to make the passing game better. It's going to make the play action a little more effective. The quarterback position they upgraded, whether you like Kirk Cousins or not, number 1 pick Mendoza or not, that's an upgrade. You got those 2 guys over Geno Smith and whatever trash behind them. Aiden O'Connell, whoever it was. That's an upgrade. You can make the case that offensively they still made upgrades, even though their weapons outside of Genty and Bowers feel like they could have made more moves. But the fact that they didn't is kind of telling, right? Isn't it kind of telling that all they did offensively from like a weapon standpoint is go get Jalen Naylor? Doesn't that kind of tell us all we need to know about what they view and what they already have with Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, maybe Michael Mayer? Like they must like some of these guys. They have to. That's just my take. I don't know. Damn, Terrence Ferguson just never falls to me anymore. Terrence Ferguson, who put the back signal out on Terrence Ferguson? I'm blaming Davis Maddock. It's his fault. Unbelievable. Come on, Davis. Can't have any fun anymore. Pat Frymuth goes. Oof, Jerry Jeudy. Nah, bruh. No Jerry Jeudy. I'm going to take Kirk. I do agree that I should get a tight end here. But man, the tight ends are just lacking right now. Don't really need an RB. You know, take Gesicki. Didn't love those picks in that range. What are you going to do? Take Mike Gesicki. Maybe give me a couple spike weeks. Someone gets hurt. Could use it. Tight end is definitely going to be the weak spot in this team, so I'm probably going to need a fourth anyways. So what sucks is I think the Jennings fall actually hurt this team, because if I got Barner and Dulcich, I think I'd feel way more comfortable about my tight end room. There's a mistake right there. I think that was a mistake. Even though Jennings was the faller and maybe in general, the right pick, I think for the team, I think my team would feel better with Barner and Dulcich and no Jennings. So I think I made a mistake there. And damn, Gunnar Helm almost fell to me right there. That would have made me feel better if like a Gunnar Helm fell to me. Look at this. Terrence Ferguson. Pick 177. Friggin' Tolbert. Get out of here, Tolbert. Unbelievable. Lee's got a ton of McMillan and Naylor. Same here, Lee. I am definitely banking on those guys for some of my teams where I went running back early. Because we're gonna need like this team. This is one of those teams like I'm gonna need production out of one of those two guys for sure. Because Rashid Rice, Devontae Smith are great, but you still need at least one more wide receiver hit in this team at the minimum. And I don't think I'm going to be getting a lot of help from my tight ends in the flex. I guess you never know, but at least though, like Jordan Addison or Juwan Jennings, I feel like one of those guys is a decent bet to get there. Colby Parkinson's still here. Why is... Someone took a giant. Who took Malachi Fields? Interesting. Colby Parkinson goes. I'm going to take my boy Surratt. And then I think Darnell Washington, Eli Stowers. I do have Jalen Hurts. I'm a little higher on Darnell. I'm going to go Darnell. Call a week 17 with him too. All right, so one more pick left in this 555. We've got a 2-4-9-4 team. And I said I got to make it up at receiver after this start. But Gibbs, Rashid Rice, Devontae Smith, David Montgomery, Travion Henderson, Jalen Hurts, Tony Pollard, Jackson Dart, Jordan Addison, Romeo Dobbs, Isaiah Likely, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Naylor, Juwan Jennings, Greg Dulcich, Christian Kirk, Mike Gesicki, Elijah Surratt, Darnell Washington, and one more spot left. Probably a wide receiver. Where did Malachi Fields go? Damn. 18th, 208, 18th round. What is Tolbert doing here? This guy's just winging money. He's always in these things. He probably just doing some weird stuff. Justin Jefferson, Genti, Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs, Christian Watson, Roma Dunze, Alec Pierce, Tucker Kraft, Kyler Murray, Michael Wilson, Malik Willis, Daniel Jones, Zach Charbonnet, TJ Hawkinson, Terrence Ferguson, Malik Washington, Braylon Allen, Malachi Fields, Keenan Allen. Interesting. CW. Yeah, I think I'm going to. Here. Let's wrap this 555 up, and then I think we can get one more in before 3. What do we think? We can get one more in here, I think, before 3 o'clock. I think it's doable. $31 likes. Let's hit the like button. Appreciate everyone. Oh, the kick's saying, hey, take a 5th tight end, bro. Felix would be rolling in his grave if I took a 5th tight end right now. Not his grave. He'd just be pissed at me. Who do I want to go with for my final pick? Yeah, this one is, but I would get in a 25 for the last draft. This one I'm finishing up, though, is a 555. Who's a late flyer? So I don't have anyone really I want for like a stack. Could go with my boy Xavion. I got VLA. I think George Halani is a pretty good pick. Do I want a 5th running back, though, on this team? Or do I want a... What do we think? George Halani or Xavion Thomas? I'm going to take Halani. All right, so that wraps this team up. A 2-5-9-4 build here on DraftKings. 555 team. Gibbs, Rice, Smith, Montgomery, Travion Henderson, Jalen Hurts, Tony Pollard, Jackson Dart, Jordan Addison, Romeo Dobbs, Isaiah Likely, Jalen McMillions, Jalen Naylor, Juwan Jennings, Greg Dulcich, Christian Kirk, Mike Gesicki, Elijah Surratt, and Darnell Washington and George Halani to finish that team up here. Not bad. I'm definitely going to need help with the quarterback staying healthy with just 2 in the 555, but I need the running backs. My horses need to bring me home, and we'll see. Not a bad one, though. Not a bad one at all. Guys, don't forget DraftKings week, so make sure you check out their promos right now. They got a 2-for-1 pretty much, where you draft 2 in the $20 million prize pool headliner contest. The main GPP on DraftKings, $25 entry fee, $3 million to first. Draft 2 of those, get a bonus one back. Great promo from DraftKings. And let's finish out this show with one more 25. Getting a $25. I'm going to tell you guys when I'm jumping in. So hopefully we get in. I'm just pulling it up right now on my phone. All right. So I'm hopping in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 6 of 12. So if you had that phone ready, plenty of time. There's still spots. Still like 3 or 4 spots left. Who's quick enough? Who's quick enough to hop in? Bang. And we're in. Let's go. All right. Shout out to DraftKings here. Now I get the number 2 pick. I mean, running pure. Running pure with the picks, baby. Let's go. Lead rats in this draft. Love to see it. Hopefully my boy CW got in. Yes, Brandon's back in here. Got the 7 pick. Beautiful. See my boy. Before we jump into this one, though, let's check out my guy Exumian's team. Shout out to him. Look at that logo. Fresh. He went with a 3-6-9-2 build. So only 2 tight ends. JT, Devon Achane, Zay Flowers, Lamar Jackson, Byshell Tootin, Marvin Harrison Jr., DK Metcalf, Kyle Pitts, Ricky Pearsall, Wan'Dale Robinson, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Pacheco, Jacoby Brissett, Aaron Rodgers, Alvin Kamara, Gio Bernard, Cooper Kupp, Justice Hill, Rashad Bateman, and who's that? Not normally do I have to Jahade Walker. Not normally do I have to click on a guy. Holy crap. I thought it was Devontae Walker from the Ravens. And then I saw the J and I was like, what? Man, talk about some olds on this team. Kamara, Justice Hill, Cooper Kupp. Very interesting build right there. You got Marv. You got Lamar, and then you stacked like 2 olds with Brissett and Rodgers. Very interesting build. But you got them paired. You got them paired nicely. This team's going to come. Like, if Lamar Jackson is, MVP Lamar, you're going to look all right. Because the running backs are good. I think your wide receivers are solid enough. I like the Wan'Dale pick here. I'm going to go Bijan in our draft. Interesting. All right. Let me pull up the draft here. CW says he's at the 6th spot. Beautiful. There we go. Takes a second to load here. All right. Then we can, after this draft, we can get out of here and root on Spain for old JSU. Get it done. All right. Anyone else in here? We got our guy CW, Chuck Wagon in the 6. He went JT. Brandon here in the 7th spot. Got the fall on JSN at 7. Amon-Ra goes at 8. Justin Jefferson 9. James Cook at 10. CeeDee Lamb falls to 11. That's a fun fall right there. Got Lee on the clock. See what he does. Genty. Where's he going? Genty Barkley. Genty Walker. Yeah. Go Lee. Love that start. See the second round. So James Cook, Chase Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Barkley. The tough part about these turn picks, like the 1st and 2nd, obviously you get like the top players and stuff, but I feel like it's right when the fringe guys start to come in where they like could be back end 3rd round picks, but you're just taking them at the turn. That's where like I was getting called a puss by I forget his name a while back on the 555 when I started for not pulling a couple guys up. And he's like, Yeah, he's probably right. Like, it is a spot where they all kind of look very similar. They could be second-round picks, but they also could be fourth-round picks. And you get a lot of those. Like, damn, Brock Bowers at 20. Oh, man, that would have been so nice to get Brock Bowers there. See, this is where I'm talking about here. Let's do something different. This is where we'll pull it up. Let's do something different. Let's do something different. Come on, KG. Start our Atlanta, New Orleans stack early. Bijan, Olave, Etienne. Let's do it. This is where I think you get always on the ends. You can do shit like this. Because I really don't think like George Pickens, Devontae Smith, Chris Olave. You could say George Pickens has a better quarterback, but he's the number 2 guy. It's the better offense, okay. Devontae Smith, you could say maybe a little better quarterback, more proven quarterback, right? But Chris Olave, like the offense in the division that they have, number 1 receiver. I know they just drafted a young kid, but it feels like they're going to bring him along a little slower. It seems like it could be very similar in a very good spot for New Orleans to be in some good game scripts here. So, and then you get the whole Week 17 stuff with Atlanta and New Orleans. That game could easily just shoot out. CW, I've been getting a few 1 spots recently after getting blanked on the top 3 spots for almost all my drafts. That's how it works, man. I swear, like, when you'll go like stretches where you'll get a bunch of firsts or seconds or thirds, and then you'll go stretches where you like never touch those picks. And you're always like in the middle. It's so weird. Like, I felt like I've been in the middle for the last like 3 weeks. Like always 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And of course, my favorite picks are 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12. Those are my favorite picks. I think those are the clear best picks. Jamar Chase going at 4. That's pretty crazy. Jamar Chase played 16 games last year, and he still led the league in targets by a decent margin. It's actually insane, the volume that Jamar Chase handles. Don't like my first 2 wide receivers being bye week 13, but oh well. Let's see, Lee. So you went Flowers and Garrett. Well, yeah, I don't know. You're okay. Damn, we almost got the fall again on Tet. Such a bummer. Let's go, though. We get my man. I mean, come on. Luther B at the end of the 4th? We're joking, right? It's an absolute steal. So Mike Evans is the clear pick here, but I could go J-Mo. I could go J-Mo and kind of pair him up with Burden since I'm already doing the stacking thing here. Let's do it. I don't have a lot of JMO. But I'm into the Bears and the Lions. And now I've got, I think, 2 really good Week 17 spots right here. I've got the New Orleans Atlanta game set up really nicely with Bijan, Olave, and ETN. And then I've got Luther Burden and JMO with the Bears and Lions Week 17 stuff set up. So a nice start, 2-3, 0-2-3-0 build with 2 running backs and 3 receivers. I like it. CW says he's drafting Scatterboo because of the backflip. I mean, shit. Why not? And he does the whole like thing where he gets low. He's already short as hell like me, but he gets lower and puts his arms out. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a good reason to draft him, I guess. Chase got 20% of the targets from Flacco against Pittsburgh. Yeah. Yeah, he did. He got 1 billion targets in that game. Absolute bazillion. I think he led the league in targets in 16 games. And it was like 186 or something like that. And I know he had that crazy like 20 catch game or whatever it was, but still, he missed a game. So like, even if you just like split that outlier into 2 weeks, you're still getting, that's just an insane amount of targets. That's an insane share he's working with. Like, what was he compared to? So he had, let's see, he had 185 targets in 16 games. He had a 32% target share. His air yard share was 37.2%, which I think is like, what is he, like 18th on the list? I mean, he's just such a solid pick. I can see why my guy Felix just loves drafting Jamar Chase at the 101. Chris Olave, 6 on this list in targets overall. And he missed 1 game. Puka Nacua, 4th. Wan'Dale Robinson being 8th in the league in targets is something I forgot. I know he had a good finish to the year, but I forgot he had that many. And I know Malik Neighbors got hurt, but I just saw you were streaming. I'm in the 5-hole. Let's go, Eric. Eric Moore. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, we try and stream on Sundays. Sundays, normally try and get 1 high stakes draft in, maybe a couple 25s in, depending on what we got going on here. And I start between like somewhere between like 11:30 and 1 normally. All right, back on the clock. Jordan Tyson we had a couple interesting spots here. So Jordan Tyson fits the team. Do I have to worry about anything, though? This guy's unpredictable. I'm going to go Jordan Tyson here. This guy in the 1 spot, though, don't do it to me. Don't take my horse. KG, you don't need him, KG. I mean, I guess either way, Parker Washington or Caleb Williams is pretty nice here. What do you guys think? Do I go Parker Washington and push the quarterback? Or do I just get my quarterback in Caleb and now I at least have 1? Because I don't love Atlanta's situation. I'm going Caleb. That's my boy. We ride. Bears. The Bears. All right. So through 7 picks, we got 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 4 receivers, and no tight ends. Bijan, Chris Olave, Travis Etienne, or HN, or whatever he calls himself now, Luther Burden, J-Mo, Jordan Tyson, Caleb Williams. I'm feeling this team. This is a fun team right here. And this is where like some fun stuff kind of falls right. You know, you go Olave and Etienne here, but you get the fall on Tyson with Bijan. And then you get the other combo with Burden and J-Mo. You get Caleb to fall to you. Caleb is one of the best, in my opinion. Bears are some of the best to draft early because Caleb is one of those quarterbacks that for whatever reason, and I think I know a lot of the reason, but like for whatever reason, I'll just throw it out that way. He always will like naturally fall because a lot of times what happens in these drafts, one, a lot of people have a lot of these quarterbacks that are going ahead of Caleb, even though his ADP might be ahead of some of these quarterbacks. A lot of these sites, a lot of rankings, a lot of assist tools and stuff will have, other quarterbacks ahead of Caleb, even though the ADP is flipped and Caleb's ahead of them. And so a lot of times what happens is if you're the Burden or the Loveland team, sometimes you get really nice falls on Caleb Williams because people would rather unstack their team with like a Jalen Hurts or a Drake May, Jaden Daniels. And I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm just saying like it makes me like getting the Bears early because it naturally gives me a quarterback that I can lean on falling, and I don't have to like Joe Burrow. Sometimes this happens too, but sometimes people just like take him early and maybe he's like unstacked. It's weird. But like that's what I'm talking about, where they push these other guys ahead of the quarterbacks. And so like for me, those quarterbacks are actually the good quarterbacks because you can get them like 15 spots past ADP. Like I've gotten Caleb Williams in the 80s. His ADP is like in the 60s. You can't do that with a lot of quarterbacks. Brandon says Caleb has only missed 1 game in his entire football career. You love it. You love it. And you want to know why? He's got that escapability factor where these guys, like, they think they have him, and then they don't. Like, he's just gone. They whiffed on him. And, man, this is interesting here. So I need running backs. The kick is saying, let's take Kenny Gainwell, and let's see what happens here. Okay, so now I'm set up. I can either, the kick is saying running back now, and I can either get the running back with my quarterback. I can go Blake Corum, who I just got Kenny Gainwell, fits. I can go Sam Laporta and fit into my game stack. You know what? Do I want to go Laporta or do I want? I took Sam Laporta. I was thinking about going the running back, but we'll lean into that game a little bit more. Because that's kind of what we're doing on this team anyways. Maybe I should have went Monungai instead of maybe I should have went Kyle Monungai instead of Kenny Gainwell and leaned even heavier into that game, but that's okay. I don't know if that was just the way I was building. But now I at least got one solid tight end. That I can kind of lean on. And who knows, maybe someone falls to me. Probably not, though. There goes Manungai at 105. I just feel like Kenny, too, fits the DraftKings scoring so well. But I think Kyle Manungai's got really fun contingency upside where if something happens to DeAndre, he could have a really good role. And if not, he still has a pretty good backup role. Very similar to Blake Corum. I think very close to the same as Blake Corum, but I think Blake Corum is a better player. But great offense, great running game. Like, they're similar in those aspects. I just think the Rams overall are a little better of a team to lean on the running game. But, I mean, the Bears showed that they were really good run the football. And I still remember that game against Philly where they just ran it down their throats. Dyer first was solid. Dulcich was sneaky late tight end. 2025, 12.88 yards per reception. 25% target rate. Bet this target rate is higher this year. Yeah, Rich, I think Dulcich is a good buy. I think the question is more like, can Greg Dulcich kind of hold up with that type of workload all year? But if he can, I think it's an interesting guy. Baker Mayfield goes. All right, Romeo Doubs goes. I am just because I'm so invested right now, I don't want to get sniped. I would love to take that fall with Mr. Worthy, but maybe we get it anyways. Or I go tight end. So the kick is saying running back here, which is interesting. The kick is saying Jordan Mason. Is there anyone else that fits my team? Yeah, we'll take Worthy. So let's see here. We got a lot of big upside guys here. So we got Bijan, Chris Olave, ETN, Luther Burden, J-Mo, Jordan Tyson, Caleb Williams, Kenny Gainwell, Sam Laporta, Tyler Shuck, and Xavier Worthy. Okay. Don't hate it. Let's see what our boys Chuck Wagon and B Cox are doing here. Chuck Wagon got a JT Drake London, Josh Allen, Cam Scattaboo, DJ Moore to pair with Josh Allen, Jalen Warren, Ramondre Stevenson, Josh Downs, Wan'Dale Robinson, Dalton Kincaid, Casey Concepcion going here through 11. I think that's a pretty well-built team so far. I don't take a lot of Josh Allen, DJ Moore, but you got that stack with Dalton Kincaid. I like the Josh Downs, JT, Wan'Dale Robinson. I like where you got Josh Downs and Wan'Dale Robinson right there. Those are good picks, in my opinion, where they're going right now on DraftKings. So I like that because your receiver room was a little thin with going running back, quarterback, running back with, what is that, 5 of your first 7 picks. You definitely need guys like this. And then you got like an upside play with Casey Concepcion at wide receiver. I think you're building that out pretty nicely. Chuck, good stuff. B Cox got JSN, Derrick Henry, Emeka Ibuka, Terry McLaurin, Quinshon Judkins, Jaden Daniels, Tucker Kraft, Jaden Reed, Blake Corum, Jordan Love, Dallas Goedert. Beautiful. That is well constructed team. well-constructed team right there. It's got the Jaden Terry stuff. Maybe he can build some Jags in, but he's got the nice Packers start right here too. Maybe get a little Houston in the back end. He's got some nice plotters too with Derrick Henry, Quinshaw Judkins, and Blake Corum. Some big time, Quinshaw and Derrick Henry touchdown. Gonna need some big touchdown games out of him, but can happen. Then he goes with Jaden Higgins. I like that pick. It's a good start right there. Chuck goes Cam Ward to pair with Wan'Dale Robinson. So he's got his 2 QBs. Nice. With Josh Allen, your QB2, you just need a few usable weeks. You don't need anything crazy. This guy's got 2 running backs. Takes Bryce Young. Stephon Diggs. Oh, boy. Yes. We did it. We got the faller. Our boy, the missile. The missile at 143. You love to see it. You do love to see it. Who do I want with this next pick? I like Jalen Naylor, but I got a ton of them, and I don't think I should go with a wide receiver. I think I need to either go tight end. I have Brenton Strange ahead of Juwan. But let's keep going with that. Juwan's not going to make it back to us. Let's keep building out that stack. I do think Oscar Delp is an interesting late tight end. Late. Where is he going? Could potentially maybe cut into some Juwan stuff, but hopefully for this team he doesn't. Probably gonna need 6 running backs on this team, just the way I built it out, with Kenny Gainwell being my 3rd. Key Missile 4. Definitely 5. Gonna need probably a 6th, but that's okay. I think my wide receivers are solid. Only thing with like JMO and Tyson is I think they're going to have some monster games, but I think they're going to also have some goose egg games. Same thing with Worthy. That's the problem with my wide receivers. I like all these wide receivers, but they're great best ball wide receivers. The problem is like I got nobody with I drafted like too many of those style receivers. I need to draft a couple of guys with some floor, with better floor. CW, I don't usually go Allen, but he fell to me. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with, you getting a faller with someone like Josh Allen. I mean, clear QB1. You can make the case with DJ Moore. He's going to be even more effective through the air. Should be. He hasn't had like a legitimate like wide receiver 1 like he did last year, like Khalil Shakir. They didn't. Dalton Kincaid was banged up. Should be better. Do you like Cam Ward for week 1 DFS? Well, who do they play week 1? Let's find out. The Titans play the Jets. I think the problem with Cam Ward in DFS in week 1, here's my problem. It's probably not a bad spot. against the Jets. But in week 1, the way the pricing is normally set, and I know they haven't posted the pricing yet, but the way it's normally set for the first couple weeks, the pricing is very soft. And there's a reason behind this, right? They want to make it easier for people to build out lineups with the, the fan picks, the favorite quarterbacks, pretty much like get whoever you want in there. You love Josh Allen, go play him, right? So Josh Allen is not at his ceiling price tag in week 1. Same thing with other quarterbacks, so you're going to have a lot of quarterbacks that are mispriced in week 1. And so I think there'll be better plays than a Cam Ward in week 1. But in turn, you can say, well, JSU, that just makes Cam Ward extremely low owned, which you would be correct in that assumption. He should be extremely low owned. But yeah, I think there's just going to be better. I'm going to take Tesla just to build into my stack a little bit more. I think there's going to be better picks. Just my opinion. I think I'm going to wait one more round on running back here. I know Tajay's a faller. I don't have any like stacking stuff that I love. Dolchich has the same bye week. I'm going to still take him, though. I think he's just a good pick. So now I got a 2-4-6-3 build going. Last year, Fields was the winner in DFS and none played him. Yes, 100%. But the difference with Fields is Fields has that ultimate upside of just running all over the field. What were his numbers in week 1? Let's pull it up. So Justin Fields in week 1. By the way, Justin Fields had a few weeks where he was, scored big time. He just had a lot of bad weeks. Let's see. Justin Fields in week 1. Oh, yeah, this was the Steelers game. So, can Cam Ward give you 12, 48, and 2 on the ground? That's why Justin Fields. But again, to your point, Justin Fields was lower owned because they were playing Pittsburgh. Not a fun team to attack, or most people thought it was a low total. So you could say just hey, listen, going after some of these low total games, and if one of them pops off like this, I could win $1 million. Maybe Cam Ward's that guy. My only issue is we saw what happened when Cam Ward runs. He gets hurt. He's a pocket. I know he wants to get out of the pocket, but he's still looking to throw the ball downfield. Where when Justin Fields gets out of the pocket, he's looking to scramble. There's a difference from a fantasy aspect with Justin Fields and Cam Ward, and I think that's the main difference. But if you just think the Titans are going to be more improved, the Jets aren't a great team. Maybe the Jets offense is a little more improved because they have more skill guys, and it's just 2 bad teams that go back and forth, then yeah, I think Cam Ward you can make the case for. I just think I'd rather guys with that are cheap that have the upside with the legs. Yeah, bro, give me Malik Willis in week 1. How about Malik Willis at the Raiders in week 1? Could Malik Willis give us 48 yards and 2 touchdowns on 12 carries? Hell yeah, he could. Against the Raiders? Definitely. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the problem is that game probably won't shoot out, but who knows? Raiders at home, new coach, everything. Like, maybe they get up and it forces Malik to have to do more. You never know. Damn it, Terrence Ferguson goes again. It's just, it's not in the stars, I guess, for old Terrence Ferguson and JSU. Oh, Zachariah Branch goes. Oh, come on, man. I was trying to build that full thing out right there. I thought we had it, too. Damn it. Well, that's a bummer. Let's take Ray Davis. I just took Greg Dulcich. We got that week 17 working. Dribbling. I got a lot of week 8. You know what? I'm going to take Marshawn Lloyd. Now I can be done at running back. So now I got 3 picks left. I think I got to go receivers for these 3 picks. But not a bad team. Should have held out for Alani. Rich says I've grabbed Fields late a few times in case Mahomes gets re-injured. Yeah, you can do stuff like that for $25 or $3 or whatever you're playing in the big contests. Could happen. I hope it doesn't. I want Mahomes to stay healthy. But isn't it rare that noon QB is optimal? Usually it's early games and the QB comes from. Yeah, I think so. But you got to remember, too, there's normally more games at one. Right? It's normally like, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it's normally like, what, 4 games at 4? Where there's like double the games at 1. So that has to play into it a little bit. Oh, no, you took Ferg from me? CW, my man. The reality is actually I'm more annoyed that I didn't get Zachariah Branch, but I wanted him to fill up my stack. Oh, my God. Do I throw up and take Jahan Dotson with my last pick? I can't do that. I don't think I can do it. I don't think so. See where are we at on the board. 3 picks left. Running back is done. Probably going to be done at tight end, which maybe I should take one more tight end. I just feel like my receivers. I think I need more receiver. Do you like Tua stacks for week 1? Tua week 1 at Pittsburgh. I'd like it more if Tua was at home than outside. But obviously it's week 1, so it probably won't be as big of a deal. But Definitely would like him more indoors. Just looking at week 1, I mean, I think the chalk games are going to be pretty obvious just by the look at week 1. I don't even need to look at the totals. You can kind of just tell where people are going to be going. Take VLA. This is where, like, in the $25, I wouldn't worry too much about ADP. Just go and get your guys. This is going to be all about my stack. Take Xavion. I got one more pick left. I'm just leaning heavy into those two games. Probably should have. Yeah, it is what it is. Who's the chalk number 1? Who's the chalk number 1? Like chalk game in week 1? If you mean chalk game, I think pretty clearly there's 2 chalk games. And they're both at 1 o'clock. You know, again, I haven't even looked at the books, but I assume these are 2 of the higher totals too. But you've got Tampa Bay at Cincinnati. That's going to be a popular game. And then Detroit at home against New Orleans. Like, those 2 games are you want to talk about DFS chalk week 1, book it. Those 2 games are going to be extremely popular. I guarantee it. 2 highest owned stacks right there. Or games. Because just scanning the board, looking at it, they're the clear 2 best environment spots, everything. Something weird, though, is going to hit, like Buffalo going to Houston and somehow putting up points on the Houston Texans defense. Some shit like that's going to happen. It always happens in week 1 where, like, we're like, oh, we can fade this offense. It's in this bad spot, best defense. And then somehow they get in this crazy game script where they're behind and have to just, like, step on the gas. And that's what you want for, like, Josh Allen stacks, is, like, for him to have to step on the gas and not lean on the run. So it's kind of like a perfect spot if you think about it. Because if it does get into that game script, like, Josh Allen could have, like, 40 points, 50 points. Love how when players JSU wants, he sounds like he's been shot. Oh, damn, he went. Yeah, I mean, you got to build it up a little bit, Rich. You got to build it up. It is funny though. Every time I'm just holding my friggin' chair. Don't fucking do it. Stack Lions. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with stacking the Lions. Funny's one, yeah. It's the way it goes, man. All right, final pick here up. I should have taken a wide receiver at that last spot. Could just take Bryce Lance and lean totally in. Brennan Thompson goes with my Worthy. Let's do Brennan Thompson here. We'll go away from that game. So we paired Brennan Thompson with Xavier Worthy. So we got a 2-6-9-3 build here for my team. Bijan, Olave, Travis Etienne, Luther Burden, J-Mo, Jordan Tyson, Caleb Williams, Kenny Gainwell, Sam Laporta, Tyler Shuck, Xavier Worthy, Keaton Missile, Jawan Johnson, Isaac Tesla, Greg Dulcich, Ray Davis, Marshawn Lloyd, Devon Vile, Xavier Thomas, and Brennan Thompson. I mean, this is all just like my floor at receiver is rough. But I feel like they're all very similar, like just big hit guys, and hopefully I can hit on a few of them. And they get that consistency. You know, hopefully J-Mo becomes the consistent receiver that everyone hopes he can be, kind of what he was the back half of the year when Dan Campbell took over. But hopefully he's that from the start of the season. Because if he is, J-Mo's a great pick. You know, and then you just hope like one of Tyson or Olave can just be straight alpha, and then the other one just kind of picks up when needs to. You know, Worthy, I think he's going to have his weeks. With Rice in there, though, it's going to be tough, but he'll still have some big weeks. He's going to be hit or miss. My tight ends, I feel like, are the weak point. Sam Laporta, Johnson, Greg Dulcich. But I do think Greg Dulcich has some upside in PPR scoring. Got Ray Davis for like that week 17 bring back. You'll see like a lot of correlation here in this build. Brennan Thompson with Worthy, Xavier with my Bear stack, VLA with my Saint stack. Just a ton of correlation here. Keaton Missile with Worthy and Brennan Thompson. So I think the only guy I didn't correlate with was Kenny Gainwell and Marshawn Lloyd. So, yeah, overall, love the team. Yeah, I like it too. I like it too. It was a fun team. You have a lot of Chris Bell. Damn. I hope he's healthy. If he's healthy and plays a lot this year, like he could be the wide receiver one. I think he's that good. Lee says, I like my team, except maybe the last two needed a fifth. Lee, who loves their 19th and 20th round picks, right? They're flyers. You know, they're just flyers. There's no one down at the board that I actually really love. There's just guys that I'm higher on than the rest, but like they're all kind of trash down there. Let's be honest. Let's see, Eric, your biggest obstacle is the low frequency electrical current. Uh-oh. Does Eric have a San Francisco problem? Where's Eric? Eric, he's more 4-5-2. Yeah, CMC, Achan, Rashid Rice, Jalen Waddle, Mike Evans. Damn, banger. Carnell Tate, Parker Washington Fall, Brock Purdy, Bo Nix. Oh, man. Eric's got this team is lit. George Kittle to go with Purdy, Mason, Rodriguez, Aronde Gadsden, Trey Harris, Jonah Coleman, Pat Freiermuth, Nick Singleton, Evan Ingram, Elijah Surratt, Tyquan Thornton. I mean, I don't love the Evan Ingram, but like you're pairing it with Bo Nix. I like this team a lot. And I'm not even really into like Achan that much, but these wide receivers gets the Evans, CMC, Purdy, Kittle. If one or you need like one or two of these Mason, Rodriguez, Coleman, Singleton to hit. This team is live, very, very live. Because I think you did the right thing taking 4 tight ends. Yeah, I like Eric's build a lot. Chuck Wagon went JT, Drake London, Josh Allen, Cam Scatterboo, DJ Moore, Jalen Warren, Ramondre Stevenson, Josh Downs, Wan'Dale Robinson, Dalton Kincaid, Casey Concepcion, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones to go with JT and Josh Downs, Kenyon Sadiq, Dylan Sampson, Terrence Ferguson, damn you, Take Dell, Keon Coleman, Christian Kirk, and Chris Bell. This is a good team. There's correlation everywhere. I like that. I think you did the right thing with the QBs. You set up 2 late QB stacks, which was nice because you really don't need to go early with Josh Allen. So I think you did the right thing, getting like some Tennessee, getting some Colts and setting it up that way. And overall, I can't really poke too many holes in this team. Like tight end, if Dalton Kincaid's like banged up, you'll have issues probably, but if not, you'll be totally fine. So Brandon, let's see what he did. JSN, Derrick Henry, Emeka Ibuka, Terry McLaurin, Judkins, Jaden Daniels, Tucker Kraft, Jaden Reed, Blake Corum, Jordan Love, Dallas Goedert, Jaden Higgins, Woody Marks, Antonio Williams, Sean Tucker, AJ Barner, Katron Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, Ted Hurst, and Jalen Tolbert here. Got 2 nice stacks for sure. Got the Tua. Did you pair that with anyone, or you just need a third QB, I guess? Yeah, I don't think you needed the Tua pick, but I don't hate it. I guess because like Jaden's banged up, you just want a third QB. Yeah, and then there's like, I love the start. There's a couple picks I'm just like player takes I'm not really in on, but they're stacks. So like the Woody Marks pick, I'm not really in on Woody, but you're doing the week 17 thing with Green Bay, so I don't mind it. Antonio Williams, you got the Washington stack going. So overall, very well constructed team. And I love the start. Like your start's absolutely good. Like all the way up to like the Higgins pick is just so good. Let's see Lee's team to finish it off here. And guys, don't forget, hit the like button on the video here. Push it over 3 hours now. Over 3 hours. I'm bringing you right to the World Cup game here at 3. Finished out with Lee's team. He went Genty, Kenny Walker, Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas, Jadarian Price, Trevor Lawrence, Rico Dowdle, Jacoby Myers, Isaiah Likely, Chico Okonkwo, Jalen McMillions, Aaron Rodgers, Deebo Samuel, Jerry Jeudy, Calvin Ridley, is that Shador Sanders? Yep. Rashad Bateman, Joe Mixon, and Noah Gray at the end. You got a little weird at the end there with Joe Mixon and Noah Gray. I see what you're saying. But, like, you got to know, like, I took Darren Waller in my 555 draft as, like, my weird pick with Zane. He was talking me into some Darren Waller. And I think, like, at the end of the day, you have 20 rounds. Like, your 20th round pick, he's probably not going to play that much anyways. So, doing things like this, even though I don't think Joe Mixon plays, just if you put me on and you say, like, JSU, yes or no, I'm going to say no, he doesn't play. But if I'm wrong, you got someone that, like, not many people are drafting in the 19th, 20th round. If you're wrong, you just have one dead spot in a 20-round draft. You can survive one dead spot. Go look at some of the winning teams. Some of the winning teams have guys that, like, never hit their roster ever in 17 weeks. It just happens. So, like, you can survive a dead 20th or 19th round pick. But what it does if it wins, that's different. So, yeah, I mean, I think this team is, pretty good. I'm not really into, like, the Aaron Rodgers, Shador. I would have liked to seen another quarterback after Trevor Lawrence, but I do really like Trevor Lawrence, and I like that you stacked him up. But I can also see, like, you weren't taking Baker there. You kind of got stuck. So it is what it is. You're going to need Trevor Lawrence to be, like, absolute stud, but he has the ability in him. So I like it. Yeah, it's worth a gamble. Last pick. It's a $25. Is there a player you don't draft because you don't like them? There's a bunch of players that I'm not really into and I don't draft unless they fall big time. Woody Marks being one of them. Jadarian Price needs to fall. Trey McBride and Jeremiah Love. If you're talking about early guys, I like to see them fall later into the third round. I guess I could go like round by, maybe next time I'll go round by round and talk about the guys that I don't draft unless they fall big time. That would be kind of fun to do. But yeah, there are a few guys I have like player takes on that but again, this is best ball and price means everything. Like at a certain price, you got to be into guys, you know? It's just, where is that line? You got to draw the line. Where is that line to be in or out on said guy? Price is a bad bet. Agreed. I avoid him completely. Yeah, bro. He was in the 80s in one of my drafts, and I still didn't click him. And I don't know if my line was too far the other way, but yeah, no, 100%. Big T must hate hearing that. He might. All right, yeah, that's going to do it here for this show, guys. World Cup starting up now. Good luck to everyone in their best ball drafts over on DraftKings. Remember, best ball week on DraftKings wrapping up today. Get in. Make sure you opt in to that promo. Draft 2 in the big $25 headliner contest here. $3 million to first. Bonus ticket right back to your account. Hopefully one of you guys takes it down. If I don't take it down, hopefully one of you guys takes it down here. I'll be back on Tuesday with Neil Orfield drafting more best ball on this channel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. And until then, I'm JSU. Good luck in your drafting. I'm out of here. Peace.